fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
I remember after John Roberts rewrote the Obamacare argument, rewrote it himself in his chambers, came out and what are you going to do about it? Tea Party gets started, and what happened? Here it is. Lo, these 15 years later. What are you going to do about it? Well, maybe it's time to impeach that arrogant bastard. That's all he gives a rip about from his high tower is his legacy. Wreck it. High crimes and misdemeanors. It doesn't mean what you think it means. It doesn't have anything to do with actual crimes, not that Chicago has any. It's 600 years old. It means you double-crossed the people. And yes, you did, Roberts, scumbag. We'll talk about that and so much more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. Very hot and humid today. Hazy sun. A danger of dehydration and heat stroke. If you're outside for an extended period of time, will top out at 97. One man was killed, another wounded in a shooting near a hotel in the River North neighborhood early this morning. It happened along the 500 block of North State. A 30-year-old man was shot multiple times, later pronounced dead. A 65-year-old man was wounded in the foot, listed now in fair condition. President Trump is suggesting he'll use Congress to end birthright citizenship after the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against his executive order restricting the policy. Ford Motor Company recalling over 741,000 vehicles due to a park system issue that could cause that vehicle to roll away. It involves Ford Expedition, Explorer, and F-150 trucks, along with Lincoln Aviator and Navigator vehicles made between 2018 and 2021. Sox taking on Baltimore, Northsiders, and Padres. The news, a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Subscribe free at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages losing steam heading into the closing bell and kicking off the new trading month and second half of the year lower. The tech-heavy Nasdaq fell as chip stocks lagged after notching blockbuster gains in the second quarter. But software stocks advanced following analyst upgrades. The Magnificent 7 big-cap tech stocks were mostly higher, led by Meta and Microsoft. Shares of Meta surged nearly 9% following a report that it's building a cloud business to sell excess artificial intelligence computing capacity. Oil prices slipped with West Texas Intermediate crude at around $68 a barrel. The Dow winners, Microsoft, United Health Group, and American Express. The Dow decliners, Caterpillar, Walmart, and Merck. The Dow falling 14 points, the Nasdaq lower by 174, S&P 500 down 16. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Your home is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows and doors, to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. Listen to your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio with your host, Roger Piper. Get answers from industry experts so you can make informed decisions about home improvement. Listen every Saturday at noon for Home Answers, right here on AM 560 The Answer. Sponsored in part by Level 10 Coatings and by American Beam and Steel.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your saving? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SHELTER to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SHELTER to the number 989898. Text SHELTER to 989898.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 45 minutes, still wide open. On the Edens, going out to Lake Cook Road, Eisenhower is 1 hour to 390 from the post office. Stevenson out 50 due Saba Lakeshore Drive to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. 28 minutes outbound Dan Ryan, tighten the Express, Chinatown ramp to 67th. And the Ford inbound, that slows down Tri-State to Dalton. Heavy conditions along DuSable Lakeshore Drive either way. Same for the Tri-State northbound, a crash before 95th. Westbound Jane Addams, an accident at the Elgin Tow Plaza to watch for on the right shoulder. The Reagan is fine. Southbound 355, that one is in good shape as well. This report is a service of the AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mainly clear, very warm and humid with a low of 77. Tomorrow, expect hazy sunshine with hot and humid conditions. There may be a thunderstorm in a few spots during the afternoon with a high of 94. Tomorrow night will be mostly cloudy, very warm and humid with a few showers and a thunderstorm possible and a low of 76. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
What are you going to do about it? I am, first of all, when you listen to this show, understand something. I'm not a lawyer. I'd like to think it's because I had too much self-respect and had too much things to do. And I didn't want to cultivate my character to be so low that I would argue against my principles. Now, that being said, I don't condemn all lawyers. I have fantastic lawyers on this show. John O'Connor, Louis Gomer, tremendous guys from Landmark Legal, Pacific Legal. There are great lawyers, no question about it. I'm a lawyer. Exactly. But the vast majority of them, for $50, had hit their mother in the face with a shovel. Yeah, you would, you slip and fall rat bastards. I'll get you to eat an apple and drop off a fruit salad for the right contribution. Or retainer your balls. I'm so sick and tired of these fracking lawyers, but when it comes to this specific lowlife pig, I love how they walk around with this air, this pseudo-intellectual air of superiority. John Roberts, you're not a man as far as I'm concerned. I'll slap the taste out of your mouth and pleasure your wife. That's the kind of jerk I am, squirrel. But I'm not a lawyer, and I certainly don't pretend this half man is better than anybody right now busting his ass on an honest day's work, going to go home, tell the truth to his kids, and live like a decent person. Because what John Roberts is to me is a four-flushing, two-bit lying, slimy shyster fraud. And I thought he always was. When he passed Obamacare by rewriting the argument, he rewrote it. All the information, not just about that front, that fraud, Barack Obama, all the information about Obamacare was out. The scandal had broke of Jonathan Gruber, Hans Gruber, third cousin. Jonathan Gruber, the MIT scum, was paid $6 million with a cohort of pseudo-intellectual frauds to write Obamacare to have the illusion of a health care plan. But what it did is vertically integrate insurance companies to owning every aspect, driving up everything. Everything! Thousands of percent. And everybody argued it before this four-flushing fraud, pseudo-intellectual dimwit with the sexually frustrated wife by the name of John Roberts. Before he rewrote the argument. It was a scandal at the time, but what are you going to do about it? Well, why doesn't anybody want to do something? You grab him by the back of his hair and you throw him out. You impeach this bastard. The high crimes and misdemeanors. Listen to me. Don't think about it from a Chicago Democrat roach pickpocket point of view. The expression is 638 years old. It doesn't mean anything to do with what you think it means. All it means is, are you a four-flushing, lying fraud? Did you lie to the people? The expression goes back 638 years to the year 1388. And all it means is a person in a position of power betraying the public trust. Well, how many times are we going to let this simp just destroy our country? How many times? And you want to talk about the broad? Fine. She's covering Catholic Charity's ass. That's all she's doing. Another crime syndicate. Impeach her ass too. In fact, impeach any one of them that doesn't represent what they said they would, what the people who appointed them said they would. Like this moron, George Bush, whose entire presidency, 8 years, was never allowed to say Nigeria.
Good evening. One of the most consequential decisions the president makes is his appointment of a justice to the Supreme Court. When a president chooses a justice, he's placing in human hands the authority and majesty of the law. The decisions of the Supreme Court affect the life of every American.
Oh, boy.
What? And so a nominee...
You know what makes me sick about this simpleton, this half-ass wannabe cowboy? You know what makes me sick about it? The whole time, who's he palling around with? Who's his father palling around with? The intern molester. Mena, Arkansas! Bill Clinton and the Duchess. Oh, the Duchess of Chafington. You want to talk about a bull lesbian in hiding. You want to talk about an absolute front. That's the only time in Bill Clinton's life he was ever referred to as a beard. And all that crime syndicate that the Duchess of Chafington brought to the table. Not just stealing the billions from Haiti. Every moron in her family. Did you ever take a look at those simpleton brothers? Did you ever look at the scum that they were?
They were investigating Tony Rodham, and they were very interested to know if his name would pop up among dealers. Now, we don't have all the documents, so we don't know what happened with this case. Well, we do know what happened in the sense that there was no prosecution of Tony Rodham for this, right? And I think these documents, as I say in the press release, what do I say in the press release? So after 3 decades of delay, these FBI records reveal a criminal investigation involving Hillary Clinton's brother and raise serious questions about remains hidden in the government's files, not only about Hillary's brother, but Hillary Clinton herself. So despite this case going back a long ways, it's kind of consistent with Rodham's reported efforts to leverage his name and his connections to the Clintons as Judicial Watch has exposed in other cases. And you got to wonder if this investigation was suppressed in any way for political reasons.
You think so? 35 fracking years. That scumbag was in bed with the Chinese communists, along with Terry McAuliffe. Green energy money and scandals and scams, selling visas, investor visas to this country. And why? You wouldn't know this scumbag drug addict pig's name because his sister, the bull lesbian with the big inner thigh rash that she just can't get rid of, I was going to say stooping Bill Clinton. She's the only broad in Washington that didn't. Was the first fraud, not lady, that's for sure. And all of them are friends. Old man Bush, the simpleton Bush.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you.
You stupid son of a...
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Yeah. Your entire presidency was a fracking lie. And by the way, the only thing that puts a smile on my face is I know that Dick Cheney is working the glory hole.
To that court must be a person of superb credentials and the highest integrity.
Okay, here we go.
A person who will faithfully apply the Constitution.
All right.
And keep our founding promise of equal justice under law.
Okay.
I have found such a person.
Oh, boy.
In Judge John Roberts.
There you go. Nothing George Bush said was the truth. Zero. You have faith in him? You're the one George Bush was talking to. He wasn't talking to the moron Democrats who were stupid enough to not know Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton were in bed with his father. This is talking to you, the decent side, the good people, the ones who are always double-crossed. By the way, anybody see Mitch McConnell? Hey, Mitch, how you doing? You got an itch? Scumbag. Where's Mitch McConnell? Where's the Senate leader? Where is he? Where are these guys? Impeachment isn't just used against Donald Trump by a bunch of transvestites and bull lesbians like Hillary Clinton. It's supposed to be used by us. We're the decent people. These are the people who constantly and forever stab us in the back each and every time. So what are you going to do? You're going to wait for the next big decision? Because these two, that John Roberts betrayed the people. Listen to that. Betrayed the people. That's it. That's all you need. He betrayed every decent Republican or somebody who voted Republican in this country. Every single American that voted for stupid fool George Jr. W., whatever the frack this scumbag's name, what he wants it to be. Not Neil, his brother, who was involved in $1 billion bailout when $1 billion was in the 80s. And not his brother Merv or Marvin, whatever the hell that idiot was, who was the head of security for the World Trade Centers and all kinds of other clout agreements in a company that never really existed. This is George. George? You know George. That's the one who got all the votes. Everything that was done under George, everybody he appointed, is a traitor to your beliefs. Impeach John Roberts now. I don't give a frack about the next one. If we would have done it with Obamacare, he would have never double-crossed us in what could be an even bigger calamity to this country than Obamacare, if that's even possible.
And tonight I'm honored to announce that I am nominating him to serve as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. My decision to nominate Judge Roberts to the Supreme Court came after a thorough and deliberative process. My staff and I consulted with more than 70 members of the United States Senate.
Well, where are those idiots? Where are those more? Or are they all like Mitch McConnell, laying on a bed, sucking air, praying for the angel of death to take him if he didn't die last week or last year when he froze? Freeze frame. Where are they all? Then, so George Bush and the 70, if any one of the 70 are elected, impeach that bastard too. Why is it you always wait around? You always wait around, and in the meantime, the trans testicles are out in the streets with the signs. We don't have to go out on the streets. We're the ones that make money. We're the ones that these scoundrels need our vote. So the deal is impeach him, or we will either run against you or not show at all. Not show at all to any of it. And I mean any of it. I don't care if you're in Florida. Me, I will never. How about this? I won't vote for a Republican again unless the Republican representative who thinks he's going to be governor now, my congressman in Florida, start to work on impeachment right now, or you will never have a political future in this country by a constituent, by me. That's the power you have. The power of no. You either do what I say or no to everything. That's what needs to happen. Because I'm not going to wait around for the next time John Roberts not just stabs me in the back, destroys the principles of my country. Obamacare has cost this country trillions and trillions and trillions, and everybody knew it was a lie. Everybody.
Why is it that insurance companies, why should health insurance companies be able to buy up the PBMs and also buy up the pharmacies so that the PBM, as I understand it, is supposed to negotiate with the insurer and with the pharmaceutical companies in order to get better prices. But if the insurance company owns the PBM and they own the pharmacies, and in some cases they own the doctor's practices, I mean, who's really benefiting? Is that a good thing for patients?
Now, I know you got that whiny little thing, that little Tucker Carlson thing, Josh Hawley, who I could take or leave, by the way. Who did it? John Roberts did it. John Roberts did all of what you just said. All the allegations, vertical integration, the insurance companies that were able to go to sleep with Barack Obama and the government. So they're guys. All those scumbags who now control every aspect of our life and backdoor nationalized it. Who did it? John Roberts did it. One man hoist upon us the destruction of our health care. And now, what he did here may even be worse.
This is an absolutely important and devastatingly bad decision for the future of the country. This decision that John Roberts authored is bad on the level of Dred Scott or Roe v. Wade. It's that bad. Previously, we had a policy of saying if you have parents who are here illegally and you're born here, you might be considered a citizen. But today is the first day that the Supreme Court has ever said that's a constitutional right. Justice Alito had an excellent dissent as well. He said he thinks this was a very important decision and very wrongly decided. He goes through in an originalist manner, meaning what was the original meaning of the 14th Amendment, and looks at how this Roberts decision came to its reasoning. And it's frankly pretty absurd.
No. It's a betrayal of trust, which is a high crime and or misdemeanor. It's impeachable. Impeach him now before I have to watch another beautiful mother like Mrs. Gorman. Another tragic story like Abraham. Another death, another rape, another murder, another robbery. And the cherry on the F America Sunday, we pay all their benefits on top of it. This isn't a policy. This comes down to a betrayal by John Roberts. And by the way, you want to throw the dingbat broad in it? Me too. Impeach them all. 312-642-5600.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
If moving safely around your home is a concern, you deserve clear answers, not a sales pitch. Access will help you improve home accessibility with practical solutions like lifts, grab bars, and home modifications, designed to fit your home, your needs, and budget. Experienced professionals will take the time to explain your options so you can make an informed decision. If staying safe and comfortable in your home matters to you, start with a free in-home consultation. Call Access at 630-616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
March 4th, 1865. The Civil War was nearing its end. The nation was exhausted, divided, and grieving. On that day, President Abraham Lincoln delivered his second inaugural address, just 700 words spoken in about 7 minutes. 41 days later, Lincoln would be assassinated. Yet the words he spoke that day still echo through history. In that brief address, Lincoln referenced God 14 times, spoke of prayer, and quoted scripture repeatedly. He reminded Americans that both sides of the conflict shared a common faith, saying both read the same Bible and pray to the same God, and each invokes his aid against the other. Lincoln understood that political division alone could not explain the nation's crisis. More than 160 years later, America still wrestles with division, truth, and our dependence on God. The question is whether we'll remember the wisdom Lincoln left behind.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You push yourself in everything you do, scanning headlines for insights, keeping an eye on the market. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
McDonald's Corporation has an opening for Cloud Engineer 1 in Chicago, Illinois. Job duties include participate in the management, design, and solutioning of software development and deployment process. Partial telecommuting permitted. The expected salary for this role is $90,355 per year. In determining your pay, they may also consider your experience and other job-related factors. Apply at tinyurl.com/20831-354.
AM 560.
The Answer.
With the 8 pathways to come here legally, of which 24.7 million people have done, our fellow citizens, naturalized citizens. 24.7 million have come here through the legal process, and they are our neighbors. Why would you not come here legally when you have the option to do? Have you heard a good excuse? Oh, it's hard? You mean like life, you low-life scumbag? What do you mean hard? So you want to come here and it not be easy? We don't know who you are? See, the reason that you come here illegally is because you're nefarious and you have nefarious intentions. And it's the anonymity you seek because where you left, you are a criminal, a murderer, a drug addict, a drug dealer. You are a low form of life that has destroyed our great areas. So when I hear that lovely mother, which I have to tell you, I don't want to play it. I do not want to play it. To see this spark from inside, you know the good people, you know what I'm talking about. I was on a plane today. You could see it. You could see who's good, who's bad. You could see it. And you see that this beautiful kid, by this beautiful mother, was killed by this cockroach scumbag. Why wouldn't he come here legally? Because he was a gangbanger, degenerate scumbag who had been shot, who was worth nothing, who took an important factor out of the future. You cannot quantify what that girl would have done, what her kids would have done, what her grandkids would have done. All for what? For what exactly? What? So you could fluff up a CPS roll sheet and get another $33,000 so you could steal more Medicare or Medicaid? So you could take more money and put them up in a hotel? What? And this moron, these morons that champion this philosophy like J.B. Pritzker, I can't even look at his big fat ass, even though he's on the Ozempic. You see him with that string he calls an arm hanging out? You're not a frickin' man. You're good for nothing. You're nothing. If your mother wouldn't have gave the old lap dance to that old man, you're too stupid to work at the airport. Listen to this, squirrel. Listen to this fat, useless pig trust fund baby. I mean, it's squirrel.
I don't know how you can tell before somebody commits a crime that they are
secure the
going to
border
commit
and
the
not
crime.
let
You don't know how. Let me hear it again. I want to get it right. Because I'm so angry, squirrel, I could chew his face off his head.
I don't know how you can tell before somebody commits a crime that they are.
I don't know how you could tell before somebody commits a crime. You're not! The crime is here! Are you here? Are you here? You with the half head and the dead eyes and you can't frickin' read. You scumbag who was in a gang in Venezuela and you shot people, did drugs. Are you here? That is the crime, fat boy.
Why did you state during Biden's border crisis that illegal aliens, quote, should have been welcomed and helped by
elected officials.
When you say illegal
I'm
aliens,
asking
these
you,
are
should
people
these
who are
people have been
given
welcomed and
asylum.
helped into our community.
I'm talking about some scumbag who crashed the border with no ID, who didn't tell us who he was, gave us a fake ID. We don't have a background check on, and you and your morons called the Democrats ran him through like an assembly line. Like an assembly line! Which is what he said yesterday. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I mean. The plausible deniability. I am a Democrat, so grade us on a curve. Look at our ghettos, once great areas. Look at how we're all financially broke. Everybody lives on welfare. And then it's financed by who? The tax cheats? Who cheat on their fracking taxes? You fat pig. By the way, you'll be a fat pig if you're 170 pounds. You just got that look of useless man, half man. Mark, Oak Lawn.
Shaun, man, oh man, you are on fire. Keep up the great
I watched
work.
that mother. That's enough for me. To watch that
I know
lady,
it.
are you
I
out
know
of
it.
your fracking mind? I'll tell
I
you,
heard
they
it.
should be
I
lucky
heard
I
it.
got a real nice gig. Because if I was in the old neighborhood, I'll open the social club myself. Now there is nobody here. Now what? Go ahead.
Shaun, I'll tell you, when you're talking about Bush, you did leave out one of them, Jeb Bush. He was a banker in Venezuela.
Well, he's the money
I would
launderer.
rather, I would rather have Milburn Drysdale out there than such a clown like Bush. But I'm gonna
That's
tell you
fantastic.
something. The creeps, these Republicans like the Bushes, pretending to be for the people, and their loyalty is just to the Democrats. I saw Jay Leno interview Bush one time at his ranch. And all the guy was doing just showing off his cars and money and how much he's got. It reminded me of a movie, Braveheart, where the King of Scotland told his son, take the money, take the land. But you know what, though? William Wallace at the end got even with him, and Mel Gibson did. But I was going to mention, I got a friend of mine running in a 22nd district in Florida as a congressman, Rich Evans. He's a good guy. He's doing it really on
It's time to leverage what we have. You either, as a Republican, you either impeach him or we give you nothing. Nothing. Oh, you're a good guy. Are you in my district? Right here. You do what I tell you to do. You work for me, jerk off. 312-642-5600.
Please clap.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Are you prepared for the Illinois state tax? If your estate is worth over $4 million, your heirs could face a tax bill of up to 16% when you pass. Financial advisor Scott Tucker and the team at Scott Tucker Solutions can show you ways to potentially reduce or even eliminate that burden. One strategy is to start gifting assets during your lifetime to lower the taxable value of your estate. Another option is setting up irrevocable trusts, which can shield wealth from estate taxes. Charitable donations and life insurance policies can also be smart tools to offset tax liabilities. Call Scott Tucker and the Scott Tucker Solutions team now, 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. That's 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm may not give tax advice.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
312-642-5600. Squirrel, can they hear if I play a clip right now? You could nod your head. Yeah? All right.
Look, the man is continually suffering from dementia. I don't think he really understands what he's saying.
Was he talking about? Here he is, soiling his trousers all over the country. A friend of mine texted me, why would you say you want to chew his face? Because I think it tastes like cotton candy. Doesn't his face look like it tastes like cotton candy? Because he never did a push-up in his life, all soft like the Marshmallow Man. 312-642-5600 after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon.
I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. Hot and humid with hazy sun, high of 97, and heating and cooling centers are once again open in Chicago and the suburbs.
If you do not have air conditioning, keep your shades drawn and blinds closed.
Triple-digit heat and humidity will combine through Friday when thunderstorms could bring in cooler temperatures. One man was killed, another wounded in a shooting near a hotel in River North this morning. Chicago police say it happened around 3:20 in the 500 block of North State. 30-year-old was killed, a 65-year-old shot and wounded in fair condition. President Trump is suggesting he'll use Congress to end birthright citizenship. The president floating the idea after the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against his executive order restricting the policy. Baseball this afternoon, Sox in Baltimore, Northsiders and Padres. Soccer tonight, Team USA squares off against Bosnia. The news, a service of Fox Valley Coins. Bring your gold or silver in-store today. Each item is priced right in front of you. Coins never leave your sight. Receive cash or check right on the spot. FoxValleyCoins.com. Your next news update is at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the roads with Jill Urchak.
On the outbound Edens, it's wide open out to Lake Cook Road, the Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, a 50-minute ride. Slowing down in the Express Division to the Edens. Eisenhower, 1 hour, Post Office to 390, and that's really tight. Ashland to 5th Avenue. Stevenson, 45 to Saba Lakeshore Drive to 355. Outbound Dan Ryan, 28 minutes, tight in the Express. Chinatown Feeder to Marquette. On to Saba Lakeshore Drive, you'll see tie-ups in both directions. Tri-State as well. Busy either way. Southbound, watch out for an object in the road blocking the right lane right near the Bensonville Bridge. On the Jane Addams, slowing westbound Devon Toll Plaza to Elmhurst, eastbound Reagan. Heavy into the Tri-State, and southbound 355. That one is heavy northbound, not bad. Southbound Route 53, a crash at Northwest Highway, just pulled off to the right shoulder. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mainly clear with very warm and humid conditions with a low of 77. Tomorrow, expect hazy sunshine with hot and humid weather, along with a chance of a thunderstorm in a few areas during the afternoon. The high will reach 94 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Are you 65 or older and dealing with chronic knee or shoulder pain? You're not alone. At the Joint Relief Institute, we've helped thousands find real relief without surgery. Our non-surgical, FDA-approved treatment uses hyaluronic gel that acts like a cushion between the bones in your knee. As we age, the cushion naturally wears down, causing painful grinding and popping. But our gel restores that cushion, allowing your knee to move smoothly again. Ready to stop the pain and get back to doing what you love? Call the Joint Relief Institute at 708-315-6800. Again, that's 708-315-6800.
Move better, live better with JRI.
Move better and live better with JRI. Contact the Joint Relief Institute today and get back to doing what you love. Call 708-315-6800 or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. Call 708-315-6800. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted. Reclaim your mobility with the Joint Relief Institute.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling your firearms? Get top dollar from national collectors. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm going to play you something that you've heard, all right? And you've heard it from me. I play it because it's a confession. What you're about to hear is a confession, and what you're about to hear was in the public knowledge, in the public eye, prior to the challenge before the Supreme Court of Obamacare. I want you to take that into consideration when you realize. I'll never forget, Honey Bunny. Remember we had the attorney on who argued the case for the people? He didn't even want to talk about it. He was a brilliant attorney. We were talking to him about a book he had written, and he argued this case before the Supreme Court. And what I'm playing you right now was out years, 2 years, 3 years before the law, the fascistic Nazi commie law known as Obamacare or Affordable Care Act, which drove up the premiums 1,000%, depending on what you had, from $500 to $5,000. Businesses, millions and millions of businesses put out of business. Tens of millions of lives changed. American, decent people. All to put in the cockroach. And you listen to me when I say this to you. Cockroaches. Cockroaches! Illegal aliens. Millions of them are on Obamacare. Scams. No Social Security numbers, nothing. People pay nothing. All of it was out before John Roberts rewrote the argument. Because the argument was, it was a penalty. It was argued before the Supreme Court. It's a penalty, it's a penalty, it's a penalty, it's a penalty. John Roberts went into his chambers. Whether he got a phone call, whether he just wanted to be a god, he rewrote it as a tax. That means he discounted the argument for it. And he rewrote it in his chambers. He helped Jonathan Gruber, who admitted that he lied about what it was, and he hid it in a multi-thousand-page bill.
Politically, you just literally cannot do it. Okay, transparent financing, unless I have transparent financing, also transparent spending. I mean, this bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies. Okay, so it's written to do that. In terms of risk-rated subsidies, if you had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in, it made explicit that healthy people pay in and sick people get money, it would not have passed. Okay, just like the lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We can make it all transparent, but I'd rather have this law than not. So it's.
And do me a favor when you hear all the arguments, and you'll hear them. Fight the communists! Fight the. That is communism. Right there. And you know who gave it a rubber stamp? John fracking Roberts. John Roberts gave it a rubber stamp. Impeach him. That is a high crime and a misdemeanor in the classic sense. He betrayed what George Bush told us, what the senators approved. He betrayed America. Sharon, Glendale Heights.
Hi there. I'm a 71-year-old woman from the Midwest, and when my dad was 19, he was on a sub right after Pearl Harbor was hit. So there's such a change in the character of the people. But, I saw something today on Epoch Times where a Haitian woman was eagerly waiting to get in, obviously 6 to 9 months pregnant at the border, and the agents stopped her because what they did, immediately Trump went into action, is demanding our do-nothing Congress to pass immigration law, number one, and make it stick. And number two, they are turning them away because they are part of the NGO plot. I don't care what you call them. It could be Catholic Charities or any one of them. They are the ones behind this, and they need to be defranchised immediately. The Chinese have basically sent people here paying them for their women to drop and plop their kids here, return to China, be indoctrinated into the Chinese philosophy, the communist philosophy, and then come back and help undermine the country. This is what these idiots have let in.
Sharon,
And
I have on the board the Chinese scandal goes back to the 80s. The 80s when they were doing this. But go ahead.
Yeah, terrible. Anyway, the bottom line is this. Roberts probably should have died of his brain tumor. That's a horrible thing to say. He had one 30 years ago. He came out of it, and evidently the surgery basically has blocked whatever judgment he might have graduated law school with.
You're going to give him a medical? Careful now. He'll end up on disability. I don't think it's medical. It's a character problem. You know
he's got a very bad problem, and people have suffered from him. It's really disgusting.
You can't quantify the damage that these two decisions. You can't quantify the first one, Obamacare. It's still doing it. It's still doing it. And what was the penalty? He gets to go to cocktail parties with Caligula for nerds called Washington, D.C., where they're all stooping each other. They're the scum of the earth. Ugh. George, Naperville.
Yeah, why did 60 Minutes Deep Six what that guy exposed about Obamacare? Where's our watchdog, Shaun?
Oh, please, Leslie Stahl. How do you think she got the job? When you hear this, I don't want to play the mother. I don't know if I could do it. I can't get over how long and how obvious all of this is, and these idiots, these crooked idiots, and they're playing on the regression of not just the national patriotism. There's always been traitors and scum. The national IQ. They are playing on the national IQ. They know what this Chicago public schools, New York public schools, California public schools. You've got functioning illiterate morons out there who think they're part of a party. They don't even know what the hell it is, and what it has become.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough, how about offering a reward for being an illegal immigrant? No sane country would do that, right? Guess again. If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides. And that's a lot of services. Is it any wonder that 2/3 of the babies born at taxpayer expense at county-run hospitals in Los Angeles are born to illegal alien mothers?
That's a scumbag Democrat, the head of the Senate, a low-life fraud whose kids made a fortune selling real estate in Nevada to Chinese communists. I mean a fortune. And that low-life thief, fraud, Democrat gangster, he knew right from wrong. He knew exactly what was going to happen. And back then, that was 93. Where is it, Squirrel? 94. Is this the one from 94?
For months, neighbors in this upscale Los Angeles community noticed something out of the ordinary coming and going from this townhouse.
You know, it's a lot of pregnant women. And so it got my attention once and then twice and then the third time and then went on like something that you would see daily.
Neighbors finally found out the home was being used as a maternity center for Chinese mothers. City officials say the women were paying thousands of dollars to give birth in the U.S. so their children would automatically get American citizenship.
What John Roberts says, now you guys stay too. Parents stay, cousins stay. How deep you go? How deep does it go, the corruption that is? Eduardo, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Shaun, thank you for taking my call. Yeah, that's a shame with that 15-year-old that was convicted of killing that post office. It is time to throw the father and mother in jail along with the son and daughter.
Oh, I don't know about that, brother. I don't go along with that for anything. I really don't. I really don't. Because listen to me. There are wonderful people out there, wonderful, whose kids make terrible decisions. No. Each individual is the responsibility of their own character. Yeah, you can't do that. There's too many good people that have too many bad kids. I mean, just look around. Corey, Woodlawn.
Hey, thanks for taking the call, Shaun. You know, one thing just came to me while I was sitting waiting on you to answer the call. They're getting a chance to rewrite the Constitution with every case that comes in front of them. To amend the Constitution, Article 5 has a long process. They get to take a case like the 14th Amendment clause and rewrite it in front of our face. They don't have to go to Congress. They don't have to get 3/5 of Congress, 3/5 of the states. They just have to rewrite these stupid cases, and they've already amended the Constitution.
Here's a congressman from today. I want you to hear this.
We are the owners
of that document, the Constitution, an elastic document that will stretch to include everybody. And so we will continue to stand united to defend that document, protect our freedoms, and fight for America, for every child, so that every child has the opportunity to achieve the American dream.
So see, and then he goes on to speak in that savage tongue. But understand something. They win because we don't make the argument. That document never stretches. That document is iron. And that document makes all of your schemes of enslaving me to your liability, enslaving me to your moron kids, enslaving me to drug addicts, illegal aliens, and low-living people I don't even want to be in the same nation with, enslaving me to them. That, you know what that Constitution does? It protects me from that liability. And that's all it does.
Thanks, Shaun.
That's all it does. And that's the argument to have. I don't give a rip about your problems. Not at all. This country is built on me, the individual, the smallest minority, regardless of the melanoma in my skin, melanin, whatever, regardless of anything. If I'm an Asian with a cleft palate and a club foot, so what? That's my problem, not yours. That's how it's supposed to be. You want to be socialist? Throw your money in the pot. Go ahead. I dare you. Give it all to the Catholics. They'll be fine. You'll end up smuggling more kids over here than if you were flying the plane on for Epstein himself. Kevin in Las Vegas.
Shaun, I just had a light bulb go off when you said, did John Roberts wait to get the phone call in the back room when he rewrote Obamacare? So you play that Gruber clip all the time. So they specifically avoided writing it as a tax so we could get all the way to the finish line, and then, boom, rewrite it as the tax, and you got yourself a new law.
Exactly.
It is diabolical, to say the least.
Well, think about, and then here's the other thing. Most people forget now. You had the Cornhusker hustle. You had the Louisiana Purchase. You had the Alaska bribery scam.
For sure. They bribe everybody.
Yeah, bribe them all.
Yeah.
Take billions and billions and billions and billions. All Democrats. And that's not fascism. And the law itself, there has never been an example of a policy at a greater fail in a shorter amount of time than Obamacare. Anybody ever challenge it again? Anybody ever challenge it? Oh, what are you going to do? I mean, after all, he's a Republican.
No.
Is he a conservative? Get the frack out of here. He's a scumbag. Impeach him. Thank you very much. 312-642-5600.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Is the IRS throwing high heat like bank levies and wage garnishments and tax liens?
Play ball!
Are you down to your last strike?
Strike two!
When the IRS brings in their closer, you don't bunt. You bring in a power hitter.
That ball is out of here!
At PJN Tax Solutions Group, we go to bat against the IRS. PJN Tax Solutions Group is a local tax resolution firm located right here in St. Charles, Illinois. Don't call some 1-800-FIRM 10 states away. We're right here. Don't let the IRS steal your paycheck, and don't let them tag your bank account out at home plate. This isn't Little League. This is your financial future. Bases are loaded, 2 outs, and a full count. Are you swinging alone, or are you going to call in a professional? Call PJN Tax Solutions Group now at 630-415-5296. Once again, 630-415-5296, or just Google, I want the IRS off my ASS.
Tired of posting to your business's social media, but only your employees notice it? Meanwhile, your competitors are winning over customers by racking up thousands of views. At Myers Media, we create social media content that gets engagement and drives sales. Here's how it works. If you're in Chicagoland, we sit down with you and come up with all the ideas. Then we handle the filming, editing, and posting. You don't lift a finger. Out of town? No problem. We build the scripts, coach you through filming it on your phone. Then we take care of the editing and posting. Myers Media also does bigger projects like website videos, event filming, and paid ads that make people pick up the phone and call you. You know what makes your business special, and we know how to turn that into content that gets noticed and gets you customers. Schedule a consultation with us today at myersmedia.net. Again, that's Myers, MEYERS, media.net. At Myers Media, we create social media content that gets engagement and drives sales. MyersMedia.net. Let's get you noticed.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit accessoneInc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's accessoneInc.com. Tech made personal, locally.
Food, fuel, jobs. It all starts with homegrown Illinois corn. Driving a $148 billion economic impact, corn supports thousands of jobs and strengthens communities across our state. It's advancing cleaner burning biofuels, expanding plant-based manufacturing, and growing a renewable economy. Illinois corn isn't just an agricultural success, it's a strategic investment in energy, innovation, and economic growth. See what's possible at ilcorn.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
I could tell my brother, who I love, who didn't listen to me, is upset, and that annoys me. When Corey says, it's the end of the country, we can't handle it. Of course, brother, listen to me. We can handle this. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? The principle may be bastardized. The Constitution may be trampled. It doesn't matter. The right answer can be ignored, but it can never be denied. You could ignore the right answer. Most people do. But it can't be denied. It plays into everything we talk about. Obamacare. You could ignore the warnings. You could ignore what we predicted would happen. You could even ignore what happened. You could ignore the fact of the destruction of insurance as we knew it, costs, the ability for illegal scumbags and bust-outs and drug addicts and lowlifes to hoist upon the decent the cost and the liability of their actions, but you can't deny the outcome. The outcome is a calamity. The outcome is businesses shuttered, millions and nobody, right? You're used to it now. 91% of the people are subsidized. 91. In fact, the very few who aren't subsidized are because they're never subsidized in anything. They're the best among us when it comes to the best among us when it comes to making money. That's the other difference. You know, as I was looking at Mrs. Gorman, and she kept saying, why don't you choose us? There's no money in choosing us. We don't need anything from them. The slaves, the useless, the wretched, the repulsive, well, they just want something for nothing. That's why, Mrs. Gorman, you lovely, lovely lady suffering a tragedy. Adam, Lake Bluff.
Hey, hi, Shaun.
Hey,
we know that Roberts had faccia di cazzo, but that Amy Coleman Barrett, she's a mucusella. That means mucus, little girl, runny nose kind of thing.
Well, you know,
he looks like it too.
You know, speaking of fachas and brute and all the rest of it, the three Democrat sows, the sows on there, affirmative action, Jackson, Sotomayor, fat judge in a little robe, Elena Kagan, the three of them, they voted so that men could do the tuck and go in the changing room with the girls and play sports with them. These are three women. You know what that makes you want to do? You know what that makes you? That should make every man and woman in this country do, Adam? If your mother's alive, kiss her on her cheek. If she's dead, kiss her headstone. Because you could have been strapped with one of these scumbags. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, it's Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. When people call us, they're not just selling a house. They're usually dealing with something bigger, a major life change, a family transition, or an overwhelming situation. We recently helped a family in Aurora. Mom needed memory care, and her kids were trying to coordinate everything from out of town. The house was full of 40 years of belongings, and they were completely overwhelmed. They told us they didn't have the time or energy for repairs and a major cleanout. We bought the house as is and gave them the time they needed to take what mattered. Family photos, heirlooms, whatever they wanted. And we handled the rest. After closing, they sent us a note. You gave us time to grieve, not just sell a house. Since 2007, our veteran-led team has helped hundreds of Chicagoland families through difficult transitions with no pressure and no gimmicks. If you're ready for an no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com. That's jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
Joint pain is awful when you're the person fighting through it, but I'm betting you aren't the only one affected. Maybe you love someone who struggles with joint pain. It's summer, time to be outside, moving and playing. But you or your loved one is sitting it out again. Hey, it's Dan Proft here. Get your life back. Talk with my friends at QC Kinetics. That's what's happening every day at QC Kinetics. Patients are finding real relief in their hips, knees, shoulders, and backs thanks to regenerative treatment done in the office by Dr. Caravelli and the QC Kinetics medical team. No surgery, no long recovery, just real relief. Inflammation eases, the pain lets go. I've seen the results. QC Kinetics patients are happy and wish they would have done it sooner. If you're living with chronic joint pain and want an alternative to surgery, contact my friends at QC Kinetics, longtime sponsors of AM 560. Consultations are free. Weekend appointments are available. Schedule an appointment today by calling 312-827-6261. Again, 312-827-6261. Once more, that phone number, 312-827-6261.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
You know, Squirrel, since Cotton Candy Face, the butter-handed trust fund baby pansy, J.B. Pritzker was elected, 57 new taxes. That was before today. Today we got more going in. We got taxes and tolls. We got tolls on taxes. In fact, if it was invented after Y2K, it's been taxed by J.B. Pritzker. And Illinois is just going to pay it, but they still don't know how much it is. We're going to discuss how much it is with somebody who understands and studies it on a regular basis. Andrew Wilford is the Director of State Policy at the National Taxpayer Union Foundation. He'll join us to talk everything fat and useless in Illinois after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. Very hot and humid. There is a danger of dehydration and heat stroke. If you're outside for an extended period, we top out at 97 today. One man was killed, another wounded in a shooting near a hotel in River North. Chicago police say it happened this morning around 3:20 a.m. in the 500 block of North State. A 30-year-old man was shot multiple times, transported to a nearby hospital, and later pronounced dead. President Trump speaking to reporters before boarding Air Force One this morning, where he discussed the ongoing peace talks with Iran.
I think they've come a long way. We hit them very hard last week. I think they're fine. I think we're going to... It's the denuclearization of Iran. It's very simple. And Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
The state of Indiana will reimburse local governments for gas tax revenue they have lost during the state's fuel tax pause. Hoosiers have been saving nearly 63 cents a gallon with the tax holiday. Baseball this afternoon. Sox in Baltimore. The Northsiders take on the Padres. The news is a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Subscribe free. 560theanswer.com/podcast. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks losing steam heading into the closing bell and ending lower to kick off the new trading month. Tech was the worst performing sector, led by semiconductors and chip equipment makers. Investors also digesting remarks from new Fed Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh. He spoke at a central bank conference in Portugal. He did say that inflation risks have come down, but declined to say whether an interest rate hike would be announced at the central bank's meeting in July. The Dow down 14 points, the Nasdaq lower by 174, S&P 500 down 16. And Bending Spoons, an Italian tech company that bought up brands including AOL, Eventbrite, and Vimeo, made its stock market debut on Wednesday at a valuation of more than $18 billion. Its shares rose 39% from its IPO price at $29 a share. Business news, twice an hour on Fox News headlines 24/7. I'm Hillary Barsky.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your saving? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SHELTER to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SHELTER to the number 989898. Text SHELTER to 989898.
Now that summer is here, it's time for some summer home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call Center Guard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation, with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560, you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with Center Guard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. Center Guard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon, and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive summer special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit centerguardplumbing.com.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
It's wide open on the Edens going out the Kennedy, 48 minutes downtown to O'Hare Express Tight, Ohio to the Edens. Eisenhower 1 hour, Post Office to 390. Stevenson 55 minutes after 355. Outbound Ryan 25 slowing in the Express Chinatown Feeder to Marquette. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that one is busy in both directions along with the Tri-State. Southbound side, there was an accident on the exit ramp to the O'Hare Oasis blocking the right lane. Jane Addams now slowing west into Elmhurst eastbound Reagan. Heavy 83 to York Road and busy conditions southbound 355, but northbound side not bad. This report is a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mainly clear, very warm and humid with a low of 77. Tomorrow, expect hazy sunshine with hot and humid conditions. There may be a thunderstorm in a few spots during the afternoon with a high of 94. Tomorrow night will be mostly cloudy, very warm and humid with a few showers and a thunderstorm possible and a low of 76. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love it, Robert. property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, I'll read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
There used to be an outlet, or there still is an outlet. When I say used to be, when it first came out, I was all over it. Everything William O'Neill. His news outlet was called Investors Business Daily. It was a fantastic outlet. And the people who wrote there were a cut above, to say the least. Well, my next guest is one of those people who used to write for Investors Business Daily, USA Today, Forbes. He's been published in a tremendous amount of places, Real Clear Markets. He now is the director of state policy at the National Taxpayer Union Foundation. It's the only union where there are no dues. It's about us, the decent, who are getting robbed, financially raped, and abused by the indecent. My next guest knows this all too well. Andrew Wilford, how are you?
Great, I'm great. Yeah, we don't have dues. You don't pay dues to us, but you definitely pay lots of dues.
You know, it's fascinating how people are embarrassed to talk about the virtue of the decent. And that's what makes us pray for the indecent. And I mean it. The idea that we are subjected to the amount and the level of fascism, of Marxism, of socialism, of communism, and we still pretend that it isn't there. Your organization proves it beyond the shadow of a doubt. There are only but a few who are actually net taxpayers, and yet no one speaks for them, do they?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, the biggest net taxpayers are always the people that people want to tax more. So
yes, and now that we've unmoored this, this is the other thing, right? We talk about redistribution. You're not redistributing wealth. You're creating debt to redistribute it. You're creating debt, which is the guarantee of future taxation. So your organization, as I see it, has never been more important. And we have the entity that can only legally lie in our nation called politics. Politicians are the only ones that can legally lie. If I'm a registered financial advisor, if I'm an accountant, if I'm a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, and I lie to you about what my product is, I'm liable. But when J.B. Pritzker comes out and says I balanced the budget, that's a bald-faced fracking lie. And he just gets reelected. Don't you find that aggravating?
I sure do.
So a couple of your articles are really staggering. Now, my count was 57 new taxes, $77 billion in new tax revenue from people who could afford it the least, the people who didn't leave. So when you look at what is in store, and this is today, right? More taxes come out today, July 1st, in Illinoisistan, as I like to call it, or Illinois as it's more formally known. What are we looking at?
Well, so I mean, you're absolutely right, and you're right to point out that they're being paid by the people who haven't left yet, because Illinois loses someone on net, a taxpayer on net, about once every 10 minutes. So by the time we're done with this conversation, someone else will have left. Yeah. So that's a real constant kind of giant sucking sound that the state of Illinois is experiencing. But the latest round includes all kinds of, I like to think of them as junk food taxes, because they're the kind of taxes that lawmakers start thinking of when they get really hungry. When you're hungry, you don't go make yourself a salad. You go buy a cheeseburger or drink a soda, and it's those, and it doesn't actually help your budget, but it feels really good when you do it.
Well, what I'm amazed at is from what I can ascertain is the levels of triple and double and quadruple and who knows how many levels of taxes. I mean, they're taxing everything, including prediction markets, fantasy sports, crypto transactions, digital advertising, social media. But how does this not dive into the realm of double taxation? How is it no organization is legally challenging this fascistic abuse of backdoor communism, socialism, and the taking of people's assets? I mean, can they tax you this many times on this many different things and still tax your income?
Well, I'll tell you what, this latest round of tech taxes is going to get hit with a ton of lawsuits because open your Constitution and point to whatever your favorite part of it is, and these taxes probably violated. There's issues with the First Amendment, the Commerce Clause, the Due Process Clause, even federal laws. There's a federal law that says you can't tax technology differently than the traditional version of whatever the technological service is. And so that's also kind of what I'm getting at when I say these are junk food taxes, because any money the state of Illinois takes in, it's going to have to pay out. It's going to have to refund a few years down the line. And then you know what's going to happen then? They're going to say, oh, my God, we have this huge budget hole. Who could have seen this coming?
It's here's the other thing, right? The way in which they cook the books, from contributor state to from donor state to taking state. And the way that they cook the books is they perpetrate a financial crime that Enron executives went to prison for. Some did. I believe the head guy died before he actually had to turn himself in. But what they do is they cut off the liabilities, right? And then they forecast the revenue on future speculated revenue. But there's a snake eating its tail, telling everyone it's a good hunter, is what the Democrats in this country do. What's fascinating and doesn't get talked about is the business plan of gambling and dope. And gambling and dope, and what's never been done to my satisfaction. How many of the people that they claim are generating the revenue don't have any, and they live on welfare? How could a welfare recipient ever pay taxes, let alone be the source of revenue for gambling and dope? And all you're doing is perpetrating more welfare by the people who are degenerate gamblers and crackheads. So you've got this constant laundry scheme of lies and fraud. And when you talk about the gaming, it's very interesting, because when you talk about video poker, the swindle machine, ghetto gaming, it is admitting that it sucks $3.9 billion a year from Illinois residents and takes it out of the state. It's admitting that because it cuts the state in, and then what's left for the operators and the rest of it. But that's $3.7 billion in a shrinking population, which means more degenerates are spending more money. And there's no follow-up as to the liability of having degenerates gamble their money. And there's a reason they don't put those in Winnetka. Those people are too smart to gamble. So there's the stupidity tax that it is, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that you're absolutely right about the state lottery. I mean, it's downright bizarre that the state is putting so much of its budgetary future on the line counting on the idea that there will continue to be people losing tons of money to gambling. I mean, that's an insane thing to tell people that's your plan for making sure the budget balances, is that we need more poor people who are already struggling to go out and buy scratch off.
Well,
that's insane.
And here's the other thing. It's an admission. And that admission is the government as it exists is in direct opposition to individual wealth accumulation by its citizens. That's what it is. And even in their sales pitch, it's recreational. Yeah, but you're banking on them to lose. So in essence, you have gone in business to take advantage of your citizens' losses. I mean, it's a staggering admission, but yet it's never argued in that fashion. I say this to you coming from a neighborhood where, listen, kid, I'll cover your action right now. And if you don't pay me, you're going to be hanging out of my car like you were a tin can and I just got married. So I understand the other side of the game, but I never told you I was in it for you to accumulate wealth. I'm in it to take your money if I want to be a bookmaker or a loan shark. The state pretends to be a representative republic. I got a problem with that.
Well, and if you remember about 10 years ago, Illinois had a budget shortfall, and one of the first things they did was stop paying out gambling winnings, lottery winnings.
Yeah, those are called renegades in my neighborhood. Those are half-ass bookmakers that don't have the bank to pay you when you win. I know what that is. How does it even exist though, Andrew? Do you laugh at yourself sometimes?
you have to laugh. I mean, if you don't, you'll cry. It is truly astounding that was something that the state did. But I mean, you're getting at this, and it's really bizarre. I mean, you can talk about this nationwide. It's bizarre that states have lotteries. That's well,
you're talking lottery. I'm talking on top of the lottery, the video poker gaming halls. Those are the only things opening up. Those are the only things opening up.
Well, right, exactly, and they're taxing all that. So if they're again, it's just the state banking on the idea that people will keep gambling, and if they don't, then the state's going to be out of money, which it already is, but it'll be more out of money.
You know what I'm going to name this show today? The Rise of the Repulsives. That's what this is. The whole fracking thing is repulsive. And by the way, this is not exclusive to Illinois. I don't know if you saw what's going on in Minnesota. Did you see what's going on in Minnesota?
You're going to have to tell me where you're
Oh, you're going to love this. Andrew, listen, you're going to love this. Here we go.
We are starting tonight in Osseo, where they've been working on plans for a city-owned cannabis store since 2024 to raise revenue and offset property taxes. But now the project's being paused after concerns from residents. Harrison Klopp is live at...
The city was the owner. They bought the land with the taxpayer of the dope store. Now, do you understand just the insurance liability? What's that? You get some kid that comes in, whoever, smoking dope that they bought at your store and they smash your car. Is that not like dram shop for bars? So the city is in business, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's called communism, like the Soviet Union with the grocery stores. They're in business of selling dope. Hello? I mean, how does that exist?
I mean, the states the places that don't do that, they basically do, because as part of legalizing, I mean, this is totally outside the scope of like my area of expertise.
Yeah, but you're touching on something important. Yes.
As part of legalizing marijuana, the bargain has always been you legalize it, we charge a ridiculous tax rate on it, and like that's it's just a weird system where, again, it's the same thing with cigarettes. The cigarette taxes are always one of the first things that goes up anytime a state's in budgetary trouble, and it's because states just they can't think of,
and they have no liability.
Exactly.
They're your partner, and they take whatever percentage they deem, and they have zero liability. That's the quiet socialism we accept, the quiet admission that we are merely managers. We don't really own anything. We're managers of things. And maybe if we have an idea, we can manage a little bit more. But I love what this really is revealing, because these areas that are doing this, both Minnesota, Illinois, California, New York, and New Jersey, do you know where none of this is happening? In Tennessee, in Florida, in the better run states, with the better class of people. Not class because of money, class because of character and intellect. And it's a fascinating thing to watch. But in this state that we live, I don't live, but in the state that the show is broadcast from and that you're talking about, they don't have that perspective. It's compartmentalized corruption of Americanism. Whether you want to, I believe it's political corruption, but we'll argue that. We'll put that on the side for now. It's corruption of what our country is, of what it is supposed to be, and what law is supposed to be. And it's fascinating to watch from the standpoint of where do they think it ends? So think about it. Here we are. Pritzker has raised what? 57, I think I'm right, 57 taxes, $77 billion, the vast majority of it from people who can afford it the least. People are leaving every 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Where do you think it's going to end? I'm curious. Where do they think it's going to end?
I think that if there's one thing you can take away from every single one of these taxes, it's that they have not thought past step one. I mean, it's the most reactive, no thought for 5 years down the line. Just take everything as it comes. I mean, we saw this for years before too with the pension debt. We'll promise whatever we need to, and as long as we can pay what's due today, who cares what happens 30 years down the line? I'm sure a global pandemic will happen where the federal government tens of billions of dollars, and that'll solve it.
Well, that was the greatest thing to happen to them, wasn't it? I mean, if you were sitting back and you were a consultant on this, by the way, I refer to this, Andrew, as ghettonomics. Feel free to use it; it'll catch on because they build ghettos with it. So when you look at this, that global pandemic, in the grand scheme of things, that slushing of the money, boy, that was very good timing, very fortuitous for these Democrat areas that were already running this Ponzi scheme of bankruptcy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you live in Illinois, I'm sure you've heard Governor Pritzker talk about how the state has seen something like 9 consecutive credit rating increases. Yeah. It's entirely
Stop it. You're going to make me do push-ups again. Every time I hear that fat, by the way, I'm in the best shape of my life. Every time he opens his mouth, I got to do push-ups. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so like that's entirely due to receiving just absolute gobs of federal money, because that's the solution that Democrats in Congress have decided is what you do whenever there's a recession. You just throw money at it until it ends, and you don't worry about deficits or anything like that.
Crackhead with a charge card is what you got. But when you look at these new taxes that you're coming in on, I can't help but notice it's all of the things that people have kind of taken for granted. But the other dirty little secret here is the vast majority of what they're taxing is free.
Right.
Well, how do you tax something that's free, babe?
Well, so it's really a really interesting thing that's happened is we've taken, like you said, all these internet activities. So like advertising-based platforms, whatever you think of, Facebook, Twitter, whatever,
free.
You don't have to pay money to use them. You can if you want to, if you're, if that's something you want to do, but you don't have to pay money. And we've decided that this unbelievable thing that our society has generated, where we give this incredible service to people without you having to pay a cent, is something that we want to target for special taxes. And not only that, special taxes that will almost certainly push these platforms more towards subscription-based models. So like this new user fee charges, it's not a fee, it's a tax, but it charges social media platforms based on the number of users they have. So if you're a social media platform, you don't want 1,000, you don't want millions of subscribers who are looking at advertising. You want a lower number of people who pay a subscription.
Yes. The other thing too is if I'm going to let Illinois tax me, and I'm a company that's based in Paraguay or Florida or wherever, I have to be a moron to extend my services to Illinoisans, don't I?
Well, you would. I mean, the solution that
I'd shut them off.
The lawmakers, the solution the lawmakers came up with was saying that you cannot change services. Like you can't provide less service to Illinoisans or charge them more or anything like that.
You mean like a king?
Which of course you can't just say that and have it.
So it is said. Maryland, let it be written. Let it be done. Like a pharaoh. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, Maryland did this a few years ago when they passed a tax on digital advertising, which, by the way, Illinois also just did that. But they said that you couldn't pass the cost on to businesses in the form of higher advertising prices, which, I mean, it got struck down in court because, of course, it did, because it's ridiculous. But
and this is a 10% on gross receipts from digital ad.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at you guys. You should at least bring like Luca Brasi. Bring somebody to really send this message home, because the idea I got to give you 10%. How about no? Now what?
I mean, if you're making less than 10% profit, you're losing money on every Illinois transaction.
You gotta hate yourself. You gotta hate yourself. You gotta hate yourself. Hate money. What do? I hate myself. I hate money. I live in Illinois. I mean, that should be on the sign. Well, I tell you what, kid. This is very aggravating stuff. Which one offended you the most? I mean, it's hard to pick. Really is. Which one offended you the most?
The one I haven't mentioned yet, the tax on cryptocurrency transactions.
Yeah,
it's a tax on 0.2% tax on each cryptocurrency transaction. So if you sell the same Bitcoin back and forth to each other, to another person 10 times, you're going to pay, 10 times the amount of tax as someone who just sells something once. Makes no sense. I mean,
that might be very bullish, though, because the other side of the story is I just won't ever sell it.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's realistically what will happen.
Oh, of course.
Or brokers will just move out of Illinois.
Well,
but I mean, that's just what is the logical reason why you would tax someone for making more transactions? I just don't understand that.
I got to tell you something, Andrew. I'm old enough to remember when this came out. When this came out, I remember a kid we were talking about it like yesterday at the Mercantile Exchange. It was like under $1. And my buddy, and I said, well, what the hell is it? Well, you buy it and you do this. And, I love to offset the dollar because I think the dollar is corrupted beyond belief in the way these political whores just keep destroying the value of it. So I said, so how does it work? Oh, and back then the sales pitch was we give you a number. Ooh, you give me a number. It's 8 or 9 or whatever it was. No name on it, just a number. Guys were buying it, Andrew. When I tell you 500 would get you 2,000 Bitcoin. I'm not kidding you. And it was completely anonymous. And they would write it on the trading cards on the top. Oh, here it is with the password. I watched a guy pay $1,000. I said, are you goofy? $1,000. It was like 35 cents a coin. He goes, I'm just going to put it away and sit on it. I think of that son of a gun every day because if he did that, he's a billionaire. But it had anonymity.
I refused to buy in.
Right.
I refused to buy in when it first happened, and I looked at everyone who did, and I said, oh, these rubes, and now they have so much more money than I'll ever know. But yeah, it's just I mean, the first Bitcoin transaction though was something like 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza or something like that.
Yeah. But Andrew, the guys who are in it and the guys who made money, you don't know who they are. How do they know who they are now?
Right.
So, and you're just getting new players? How's that constitutional or legal? How's that work?
Well, and to sort of get back to just to jump back to the social media user fee for a second. When the lawmakers designed this, they didn't define what a social media platform was. They didn't define what a user was. So if you have 2 accounts, 1 account, no accounts, are you 2 users, 1 user, no users? They didn't define what made someone an Illinois user. And it's the same thing with this cryptocurrency thing. I mean, you're talking about a type of transaction that is already incredibly difficult to source. Then you're making it incredibly more expensive to do it in Illinois.
Well, the ambiguity is the beauty, right? Because the ambiguity allows just throw it all at the wall, tax everybody, and see who pays you.
I mean, it's unfortunately it's going to be the people who don't have the technical expertise to just avoid it.
Did you see some of these guys who make up the state reps? Did you take a look at Chris Welch? Did you ever see that stupid son of a gun? He's why you have exit signs in offices still. He can't figure out what a fracking door is, that stupid gangster. And in the meantime, you let these guys drop. I mean, you have to really. You've never made me feel better about moving 6 years ago. I want to thank you for that, Andrew, and I also want to curse you on behalf of my listeners who were like so many of my friends and family and said, nah, it'll straighten out. Andrew Wilford, where's the best place to keep an eye on you and everybody at the National Taxpayer Union Foundation?
At ntu.org, and make sure you use a VPN when you do so you don't get taxed.
Yes, and by the way, I didn't buy it either. I watched everybody else buy it, Andrew, and I feel your pain. That's another reason I do push-ups. But the good news is you stay in shape as you get older, Andrew. Thanks for making time, babe.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
The following contains a celebrity impersonation.
Mr. President, we're seeing reporting that air conditioning systems are failing as temperatures rise. What is your response?
I said, don't wait. People wait until the last second, then suddenly it's hot and nothing works. I understand this stuff, probably better than anybody.
Mr. President, why hasn't the White House issued any guidance?
I gave perfect guidance. Call Air Right Heating and Cooling. That's the guidance. If people followed it, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Sir, but homeowners have so many HVAC options.
They're not like Air Right. You got some bad installers out there, some real bad hombres. I wouldn't let them near the White House. It would be a complete disaster.
Mr. President, there are reports of significant rebates on new systems. Can you confirm?
I've heard about them. A lot of people talking about them. If you miss out, you'd have to be really not so smart. Tremendous savings, let me tell you.
Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling at AIR-RITE.com. Air Right. Doing it right since 1959.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You didn't have to buy Bitcoin back in the 90s. If you would have just bought a Dow Jones index, you would be very wealthy. Tom Fortino had been saying that to me for a long time before I really started to say, all right, Tom, what else? And we were talking silver, we were talking gold, we were talking offsetting the fraud of made-up industries like eco-Nazi green agenda. Avoid the potholes, take advantage of the real growth based on fundamental principles. That's what Alpha Wealth Group does, Tom Fortino specifically. But not exclusively. Anybody at Alpha Wealth Group understands the principles of economics far better than any moron that's ever ran for office or even voted for any Democrat. That's what I'm very comfortable saying that. The people at Alpha Wealth Group understand what makes us the youngest and the richest quality with the highest quality of life. We're the only country, we're the ones that brought the opportunity for every American to invest in companies without ever going to a meeting. You could own a piece of specific companies. That's what a stock is. That's all a stock is. You are buying the currency of these companies. Now, whether you want to talk Microsoft or Apple or Tesla, whatever you want to talk about, or just an index, Tom Fortino is ready to do it. Call 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711. For a no-obligation consultation of what your goals are, your risk tolerance, assets, and what your idea is of leaving your money to your kids versus illegal aliens who already get your welfare. Just call 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com. You tell Tom, handsome son of a gun, he was right about the silver. He was right about the market. He was right about risk tolerance. He's just right. When we get back, 312-642-5600. I'll take your calls. Terry, you'll lead us off after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, clear skies overnight, very warm and humid with a low of 78. Another day of major heat will impact the Chicago area tomorrow. Frank Velez is director of the Chicago office of Emergency Management.
An extreme heat warning has been issued by the National Weather Center. Dangerous heat and humidity levels are expected throughout the week.
One man was killed, another wounded in a shooting near a River North hotel Wednesday morning. A 30-year-old man was shot multiple times, transported to nearby Northwestern Memorial Hospital, and later pronounced dead. President Trump speaking to reporters before boarding Air Force One this morning, where he addressed his recent financial disclosures.
You have a 401k? How's your 401k done? It's about up 85%. Thank you, President Trump. So we're all profiting. I'm profiting because I have a lot of money and a lot of cash.
President's financial disclosure form was 927 pages long. The news is a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. Join today, 560theanswer.com/join. Your next news update is at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Up next, a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jill Urchek.
On the Edens, Montrose to Lake Cook Road, no reported delays. The Kennedy outbound 48 minutes from the Jameburn interchange to the airport. Outbound Eisenhower 1 hour. Post office to 390. Stevenson 48 minutes out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway from DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And the outbound Ryan 22 minutes. The express lane's tight Chinatown feeder to Marquette. Skyway eastbound, that's heavy Stony Island to Klein Avenue. DuSable Lakeshore Drive still jammed either way. Tri-State busy both north and south. Westbound Jane Addams has scattered delays in the eastbound Reagan, but expect heavier conditions southbound 355. This report is a service of the AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mainly clear with very warm and humid conditions with a low of 77. Tomorrow, expect hazy sunshine with hot and humid weather, along with a chance of a thunderstorm in a few areas during the afternoon. The high will reach 94 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Time now for a check of the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
In the south suburbs, regular no lead is $3.27 a gallon at the Citgo on Central in Oak Forest, $3.35 a gallon at the Delta Sonic on Cicero in Crestwood, and $3.35 a gallon at the Thorntons in Midlothian.
If you see a low gas price, text the word gas to 312-642-5600, followed by the price and location. And listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 to hear the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Hey Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. If you're helping a parent or loved one move into senior living, you're dealing with a lot right now. Finding the right location, coordinating the move, managing their care, and then there's the house, often filled with decades of belongings and memories. The last thing you need is months of repairs, showings, and uncertainty about when it will actually sell. Here's how our veteran-led team helps. We listen to your needs first. Flexible closing date? We can do that. Extra time to sort through everything at your own pace? That works too. You keep what matters, family photos, heirlooms, whatever has meaning, and we handle the rest. For nearly 20 years, we've earned hundreds of 5-star reviews by treating families with patience and respect during life's transitions. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com. That's jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Are you the Weston from Hasselus Mattress?
That's me.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, well, thanks.
The way you talk about employee-free Hasselus showrooms, free next-day delivery, and prices that are way low. I mean, nobody does it better.
I don't know what to say.
Say that I can get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Okay. Now through Monday, at Hasselus, get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Awesome.
You know what's really awesome? You can get a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459. But Hasselus has it for just $794.
I know. I have that tattooed on my...
Wow, you really are a fan.
Told ya.
Save big and get a free box spring through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Got a large collection? We'll make it fit in your wallet. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
They use the word social democrat because it sounds so nice, but it's really communism you're talking about.
I mean, he is ridiculous, but the reason he's using communism is because he knows socialism is really popular.
Not among anybody who's ever lived in a socialist country. Cockeye! Congresswoman, cockeye! What's with your left eye? Look at me when I talk to you, whore. I can't stand them. Terry, Chicago.
Hey, Shaun, 4 real quick things. One, I hope one time you have a biographer for Meyer Lansky on. He was a genius.
Yeah.
2, in 1972, 1973, Anthony Lorino, alderman to office, his ward had 2 guys that top precinct captains were made judges. They didn't have a law degree. 3, the illegals are the favorite sons and daughters, and the U.S. citizen is a stepchild. And 4, when I talk to you, I feel like 2 cents waiting for change.
There you go. Bingo. 4 things. Not tomorrow. It'll be 5 things. These Chicago guys. Never enough. West side, south side, greedy is what you are. Matt, Mount Greenwood.
Hey, good afternoon, Shaun. Thanks for taking my call. You're probably aware of this, but this is Rich. So Bally's Casino negotiated a deal with the city of Chicago under Lightfoot so as not to open up restaurants and bars with legalized gambling machines. Well, his eggplant Johnson said, yeah, let's do it. We're going to open it up to restaurants and bars for legalized gambling. Now, they hired Lightfoot. Bally's hired Lightfoot to open up a lawsuit against the city of Chicago because they're thinking they'll lose over $200 million in revenue because of the competition
Well,
from the machines.
that's an interesting argument. You're talking about Bally's hired Lori Lightfoot.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is the agreement that the city made with that casino. You know, they lured them in there, right? They lured them in there. They set up the whole thing. And you know, the guy that owns it, his son was the one running for Cook County or alderman. I think his son is an alderman. So the landlord for the casino, his son was running for Cook County commissioner or some asshat job. Anyway, or maybe Congress. He was running for Congress, the kid. So he's a trust fund baby whose father owns where Bally's is the tenant. Okay? But in that contract, if you read it, because they had to lure them there, they were assured that there would not be video game ghetto gaming. And if there is, the city was to pay, from my understanding, now I'm going out old information, or the original contract, $4 million a month. The city of Chicago was supposed to pay Bally's. So I'm curious to know how they get around that. And then you look at the aldermen who are arguing for ghetto gaming in the ghetto. They all want, either they want to be agents for the ghetto gaming, or they've gotten mass contributions by the ghetto gamers. How you doing? Although they're not even gangsters. Those ghetto gamers, those are butter-handed pimps. Dennis Evanston.
Hey, Shaun.
Hey, how are you, babe?
I unfortunately had my own business for 46 years in the state of Illinois.
Dennis, isn't that sad? I mean, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to let you finish. But isn't that tragic, man? That used to be something that people were proud, right? And they legislate you out of business, where they take away the incentive, the purpose to be in business. They raise the cost. They raise the taxes. It's aggravating, but go ahead.
Anyway, I closed the business down October 1st, 2024. Had enough. Good living. And the state has been after me forever for $220 from 2021. So I get a letter. I get a letter from this fat ass state of Illinois employee, and I call him. He says, "We'd really like to close the books and everything." And I said, "Well, my accountant doesn't think so, but just to make you sleep better, I'll send you a check." And he said, "Oh no, that'd take too long."
They want you to go online and pay it.
Yeah, well, I went. Yeah, that's the joke too. So I mailed the check to his attention. I just want to see this guy actually have to do some work, because his job's going away soon, because this whole thing is sinking fast.
Dennis, I can remember years ago driving to Springfield to do that, to like pay them. You know, you don't want to have a problem, and they're going to do this, and they're not going to let you open the doors, and driving like a lunatic. I can't remember if it was for the real estate or the cigar business. I don't even remember now. And sitting down every month, and paying them online, the password, the receipt. I was like, you got to be out of your fracking mind. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. And what do you get in return?
So then
it's like,
I go down to Florida.
It's a triple whammy.
I go down to Florida, and at the time I went down, I needed to go down. I wasn't making any money here. I'm like, I got the kids in school, private school, I got bills out the yin-yang. So I drive, and I take all my licenses, right? And I'm going to open up. I got the LLC. I got the accountants. I got everything. And got the address in Florida. And I'm driving. I'm going to go right to Tallahassee. I go in. When I say to you, Dennis, the nicest people that you could imagine. Here we are. Let's get in. I thought I carved out like half the day. I'm going to be in this place for 4 hours. I was in and out of there in about 30 minutes. I don't even think it was 30. And here's my direct line. Here's my direct number. Where are you going to be? Oh, you're going to go call your car. Where's your office? Here. Okay. You might want to look here. You save money. Save money. When's the last time anybody in Illinois wanted to save you money? I said, well, gee, how much is the license, every year? Because I was a real estate guy here. How much is the license every year? She goes, what are you talking about? I said, to pay for the license. Oh, no. You don't pay. You pay for continuing ed. It's nothing. Nothing. You pay for continuing ed. And $10 to file it. $10. And you file it once, one-time fee. I mean, Dennis, at a certain point, if you don't know you're being abused, you keep putting up with the abuse. The problem is they bank on people not knowing.
You get to the age, too, where you really can't do anything about it. You're stuck. And the old saying, crap rolls downhill.
Yeah.
The state of Illinois, the county of Cook, the city of Evanston. I got the trifecta.
Yeah, you did, kid. You really did. At least in Melrose Park, the food is good. You take care of yourself. I hope I see you. 312-642-5600.
What if everything you've been told about government, healthcare, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
March 4th, 1865. The Civil War was nearing its end. The nation was exhausted, divided, and grieving. On that day, President Abraham Lincoln delivered his second inaugural address, just 700 words spoken in about 7 minutes. 41 days later, Lincoln would be assassinated. Yet the words he spoke that day still echo through history. In that brief address, Lincoln referenced God 14 times, spoke of prayer, and quoted scripture repeatedly. He reminded Americans that both sides of the conflict shared a common faith, saying both read the same Bible and pray to the same God, and each invokes his aid against the other. Lincoln understood that political division alone could not explain the nation's crisis. More than 160 years later, America still wrestles with division, truth, and our dependence on God. The question is whether we'll remember the wisdom Lincoln left behind.
If you've saved $100,000 or more for retirement, call Steve Shyman today at 833-945-7283. That's 833-WILL-SAVE, 833-WILSAVE. Schedule your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review and make sure your plan is built to protect what you've worked so hard to earn. And don't forget to listen to Steve's show, Protecting Your Assets, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on AM 560. Call now, 833-945-7283.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and last year I hired Level 10 Coatings to give my garage floor a total makeover, and I am loving it. It still looks great, shiny, and clean. Level 10 Coatings. Now, you've got to call these guys if your garage floor is cracked, stained, still covered in salt. Don't live like that. Get it done now so you can enjoy it this summer. Level 10 Coatings. They're fast, reliable, and highly professional. Guess what? I went to work. When I came home, it was done. A shiny, new, gleaming garage floor. A quick, easy fix. And it's guaranteed never to chip or peel. Why? It's not an epoxy job. It's better. Level 10 uses polyurea, which is much better than epoxy. So schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, to receive $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Or call 855-510-2628. Staff are local and ready to answer questions. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
AM 560, The Answer.
America is gonna survive.
The man is continually suffering from dementia. I don't think he really understands what he's saying.
And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs, that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what,
the man is continually suffering from dementia. I don't think he really understands what he's saying.
And Joan, Shingang, I'm going to pronounce Shanga
Kawawa.
Look, the man is continually suffering from dementia. I don't think he really understands what he's saying.
Do you really think the president has dementia?
I do. I think if you look at any of the videos from 2015 or 2016 and look at how he responded to questions and how he was at press conferences, and then you
sue his fat, useless, never worked a day in his life, did a push-up, a jumping jack, forget about a pull-up, he'll rip his arms out in a second. Never did anything. Sue his ass. Sue him. Sue him, I said. Sue him, squirrel. Sue him.
Governor J.B. Pritzker says he thinks President Trump has dementia. The comments came during a CNN interview last night.
Do you really think the president has dementia?
I do. I think if you look at any of the videos from 2015 or 2016 and look at how he responded to questions and how he was at press conferences.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Soiled himself on a daily basis right in the Oval Office. Soiled himself. Didn't know if it was Tuesday or July. That stupid son of a dog. Nobody said a word. Not a word.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
Uh-huh.
I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. That's we traveled 17,000 miles on it.
Shut up!
I don't know that.
Fracking morons. Each and every one of you. Useless morons. Mark, Liberty Hill, Texas.
Hey, Shaun.
What's up, babe?
I can't even get my comment out because I pulled over here and I was still laughing at your J. Paul joke.
That cockeyed son of a dunk. Do you imagine trying to talk to her? One eye's looking north? What are you, a frickin' compass? Look at me, you dizzy bimbo. Go ahead.
And now you play this montage. Shaun, former Illinois resident, I'll tell you what, and I told you a call screener that honestly, it's like I love listening to you. I listen to Proft, and I check in from Illinois radio from time to time.
Yeah.
For the only reason, you know what, to make me grateful that I'm here in the glorious Lone Star state of Texas.
You know the difference between us and Democrats? We're all proud of you. And I mean that. Democrats are envious. They're jealous. We are all proud of you. Now, send me a picture of yourself in a 10-gallon hat, will you?
Every one of your callers, you know what? It was scary because we knew nobody. But I told my wife, this ain't working. You know what? And I thought I uprooted everything to come down here. And Shaun, we've been down here 4 years. It is so much different. And I'm here to tell everybody in that state that is a conservative, you know what? It may be a hard decision, but get out. And
we love you, Mark. Honestly, we're against the clock. We'll be back.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hitachi Global Air Power US LLC has an opening for a senior SAP ERP analyst recruited out of Michigan City, Indiana. This position is 100% remote, may work anywhere in the United States. Job duties include configuring SAP S/4 HANA MM, WM, and EWM functionality, integrating services such as SAP EDI, SAP PI with their 3PL trading partners and with the manufacturing systems on the plant floor, and interfacing with RF devices for warehouse transactions. The position requires at least a bachelor's degree or its equivalent in electrical engineering or a related field and at least 5 years of Progressive experience as an SAP ERP analyst or in a related role leading SAP MMWM projects. Apply at america.solaire.com/en/careers, requisition number R0126211.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
We were this close, Squirrel, this close. When you look at the money, Donald Trump has saved us since ripping out the eco-Nazism of the Barack Obama administration, followed through by the dimwit in diapers. But you look at the removal of the Chevron doctrine. How do you quantify the money that saves us? Imagine if we could have lost the cost for illegal aliens and their health care. Oh, you know who knows how to quantify that? I say it's $4 trillion. I'll bet you he says it's more. Scott the Cowguy Shality will join us to discuss how much this cost us after Fox Fights.
He's predicting success. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Vice President J.D. Vance says the strength of the U.S. military is key to nuclear negotiations with Iran.
Speaking to an audience of sailors and Marines at Naval Air Station Oceana in Virginia, Vice President J.D. Vance says President Trump is negotiating with Iran from a position of strength following the U.S. military campaign.
If the Iranians try to rebuild the nuclear program, the president's got options, again, because of you. If the Iranians try to threaten their neighbors or fund terrorism, we've got options, again, because of you.
Vance told service members the president will only send them into harm's way with the tools needed to kick the hell out of the enemy and come home safely. U.S. and Iranian teams are engaged in indirect talks aimed at getting a 60-day ceasefire back on track.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. President Trump in North Dakota this afternoon for the opening of the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Library, using a speech there to talk about yesterday's Supreme Court ruling affirming birthright citizenship.
It wasn't meant for rich people from China. They came over in Gulf Streams. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So I believe... No, I know they got it wrong, but that's okay.
The president has said that he will ask Congress to take action on birthright. Tens of millions of people in the Midwest and Northeast dealing with record-breaking temperatures, and forecasters warn it could last through most of the holiday weekend. New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill with some advice.
If you're going out, drink water. Stay in the shade. Be smart.
In New York City, where a heat emergency has been declared, hundreds of cooling centers have been opened. Heat indexes of 105 expected Friday in Raleigh, North Carolina, and 109 in Memphis. Parts of Europe also dealing with unusually warm weather. In France, more than 1,000 people have died due to the heat. America's listening to Fox News.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the outbound Edens, 25 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook Road, Kennedy going out 50, downtown to O'Hare Express lanes tight, Ohio to the Edens. Now the Eisenhower is just under an hour, Post Office to 390, Stevenson now 40 minutes to Saba Lakeshore Drive to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Dan Ryan out 25, stop and go in the Express, Chinatown feeder to Marquette. On to Saba Lakeshore Drive, expect delays both directions, still pretty heavy. Tri-State is also very heavy north and south. And now westbound Jane Addams filled in, a crash eastbound on the Reagan at Roosevelt in the right lane, and heavy conditions as well, 355 south. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mainly clear, very warm and humid with a low of 77. Tomorrow, expect hazy sunshine with hot and humid conditions. There may be a thunderstorm in a few spots during the afternoon with a high of 94. Tomorrow night will be mostly cloudy, very warm and humid with a few showers and a thunderstorm possible and a low of 76. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your saving? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SHELTER to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SHELTER to the number 989898. Text SHELTER to 989898.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Crosscom.
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Crosscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Crosscom.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Crosscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
Hello, everyone. Gary Sinise here. I'm thrilled to share that me and the Lieutenant Dan Band are returning to Cantini Park in Wheaton, Illinois, where we will be rocking for our vets. Join us on July 11th for the West Suburban Foundation for Disabled Veterans America 250 concert, saluting our veterans and supporting your veteran community. Tickets are on sale now at WSFDV.org, and I can't wait to see you there. Let's rock for our vets.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
At least 8 times in the past million years, it has advanced and retreated with clockwork regularity. If we are unprepared for the next advance, the result could be hunger and death on a scale unprecedented in all of history. What scientists are telling us now is that the threat of an ice age is not as remote as they once thought.
$6 trillion for that boondoggle. Obamacare, $3 trillion. Social Security, $5 trillion. Medicare, Medicaid, boy, oh boy, that's a tough one. Because how do you really figure what 30 million illegal aliens cost you?
Did you know that in 2023, 9% of all births in the United States were to illegal mothers, and 75% of illegal immigrant households with children are using at least one major federal welfare program, with the citizen child serving as the eligibility hook? Does that seem fair to you? Someone can just break our laws, enter into our country illegally, give birth, and then receive welfare.
And they say crime doesn't pay. I believe citizenship in this country, if you're a roach and you never work a day in your miserable, useless life, but you suck on the nipple of society, can make you an instant millionaire. I believe, my math has done me right, that somebody who doesn't work, never contributed anything, costs the taxpayers $3 million if they go to public school. But I'm a meathead. My next guest, however, wicked smart, broad range of experience and success, from college adjunct professor to very successful technical trade, cash trade, equities, commodities, financial products, so much so, he's a commonly known face on MSNBC, CNBC, I meant CNBC, Fox News, Bloomberg, and anywhere that wants to talk about business, they talk to Scott the Cow Guy Shality. How are you, sexy?
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Now, I'm funging, rounding, adding up just the $30 trillion in debt that's been squandered since you and I had thicker hair and could do more sit-ups. However, it's the shortest amount of time for the greatest amount of debt, aside from the fact they burn the money that they call revenue with obligations forever, and we could have at least cut out 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. Nobody knows how many illegals are here, but what we do know now is that there will be more, and they will cost more, thanks to the anchor babies, won't they?
Yeah, now I think maybe the rest of the country is understanding the ruse. I mean, depending on who you talk to, it's between 10 and 20 million illegals came over the border when Biden was in power. And they knew that was the plan, because then they knew that they were going to get them all put in these sanctuary cities and states. That was part of the plan. But then they also knew something that we really didn't see coming, but they were going to let them in mass, and then they were going to actually make us follow due process to have them be exported one by one with some sort of court date, which is absolutely insane. They are haters of America. They're taking advantage of the system. They're now finding that they've got some more worse haters of America in their party with the socialists and the communists. But this is by design. It's not an accident. It's absolutely not an accident. And this is why they want to propagate it and keep it going. Anybody with a third grade education knows that birthright citizenship is wrong. It should not be. Now they've turned it into a business in Russia and China. Maybe they can get something done, but it's going to be an uphill battle. But anybody that's got an ounce of integrity and a third grade education knows that this is a bunch of garbage and it needs to stop, because we can't afford it. Now, when I was young 23-year-old that had left the country for the first time in 1989 or 1990, whatever it was, when I went over to England, and I got my passport stamped with a guy with a bobby hat on, and he said to me, "Son, once you find a permanent place to live, we need to make sure that you report to your local police station." And I said, "Yes, sir." And then as I was walking away, he grabbed my shoulder and says, "Do you know why I asked you to do that?" I said, "No, I'm just trying to be agreeable. I don't want to get in any trouble, sir." He says, "I asked you to do that because we don't want anybody coming into this country taking anything out of the pot that they didn't put into it."
Right. Well, you know what else?
That's racist today. You can't say that.
Well, that's the shield, the virtue shield used to hide the weapon that we've monetized social service safety nets. We've monetized it. And this is the beauty of this scam. And if it's put in the right argument, it's undeniable the fraud in the system that's built in the system, which is not a flaw, but it's a feature. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. You have this small group of Somalian pirates that have stolen and absconded with $9 billion and counting, really closer to $14 billion. And in order to do it, who was in on it? Everybody. Everybody who said they had a kid, they got $50 a head. Every crooked rat moron that said they worked there, but they didn't. Every doctor for their scams of hospice, every nurse, everybody got their beak wet, and there was enough to steal. And that is our Medicare system. That's it right there, our Medicaid system. In fact, the government and sanctuary states are running the same, less sophisticated scam than the Somalian pirates are, because they have no oversight. And why they declare themselves sanctuary is to cover up the loss of decent citizens like Illinois is going through, New York, New Jersey. Pick a Democrat area. People are fleeing, brother. You know this. And how do you cover it up? You cover it up with just a head count. All you need is a head count. And that head count now, thanks to the judgment, and up until now, produced revenue by the state that everybody got their beak wet, like they were running some sort of a physical therapy, never existed chiropractor shop in Minnesota to Somalians that didn't exist. What do you think?
Yeah, and then they all. But you talk about the shield. You know, they hide behind the shield of racism. I mean, you can't even say they have a Somali problem in Minnesota. Somebody jumping down your throat. I don't care if it's 100 Italians that were doing it. We have an Italian problem in Minnesota. It doesn't matter. You're allowed to say what's actually happening. But they jumped on your throat, and now it was so bad. That's why you had Small Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, and Walt bowing to these people because they were such a big electorate that they kept them in power. I mean, it's the simplest thing to see, yet we can't do anything about it.
See, I'm hazy on who the victim in that relationship that you just mentioned is. I don't think it was the Somalians putting the pressure on the Tim Wallses, on the Ileana Omars, on the Keith Eliason, whatever the heck his name is. I think it's the other way around. I think that when they figured out, I got Ileana Omar, we're going to have this new group of communist squad members. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to craft these policies. During the pandemic, we're going to craft them, number one, but we're going to craft them, and then we're going to cut in the Somalians. And they went to the Somalians. Did you see that kid they just arrested in Mogadishu? He's in every campaign picture. Now, the question is, did he go to them and bribe them, or did they bring him in and say, bribe us? I believe it's the politicians that orchestrated the whole thing, because these policies are meant to be stolen.
I don't think the politicians are that smart. Look at Walls. Look at Small Fry. These guys aren't that smart.
Oh,
and you know, like I said, when I got out of the University of Colorado in 1988 with a finance degree with my solid C average, all the guys that had A averages, they went to work at Storage Tech or in Silicon Valley. They didn't go work for a local, canvas for their local alderman. All the guys that couldn't get jobs with a D or a D minus average did that. I really don't give a lot of these politicians. Every now and again, you find a politician that thinks it's a virtue, and he looks at it like it's something that he's giving back. And those guys can be very, very smart.
All right. So
but generally speaking, who takes that choice in life?
I'll see your retort, and I will raise you one Jonathan Gruber. Jonathan Gruber, an MIT grad, wicked smart, with that ferret-faced little cleft palate that he had going on, who wrote Obamacare, who hid in there what Obamacare was. He's smart enough to come up with all of that. And look at the explosion. And by the way, he, along with a few other Marxists, and the Cloward-Piven strategy of overwhelming the social safety net system in order to take it over and collapse it, but they first had to expand it. And all of this traces back to Barack Obama. The mass explosion. You know, Scott, we talk about it. We glaze over it, and we emphasize. But it's truly incomprehensible. $30 trillion in 15 years. And counting, by the way. It's inconceivable. You can't even conceive of that amount of money. The whole country, 236 years, we had $9 trillion. Okay, he doubled it. But what did he set in motion was all the entitlements. And the mass explosion. And the kicker, you and I could get elected in the White House. We can't stop it. It's on autopilot. 85% of the money's on autopilot.
Right.
Now you look at...
And then they get mad when you get rid of USAID. So, yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. Who really expands it? Like every other Ponzi pyramid scheme you and I have ever witnessed, what is the one thing you always need? More people. More names to steal in the name of. Even though I condemn them because they're in on it, but let's say they're not. You still just need their name. It's like going to public school in Chicago. They don't go. Between the teachers and the students, nobody's there. but they all make $33,000 a year on a name. Not legal, illegal, none of it. I'm telling you, the reason it's so concentrated, the whole thing has nothing to do with altruism and we want to give the best. Poppycock. Every time you get a new name, a new head count, a new ghost count, you make more money as a state that is losing money by the millisecond. What do you think?
I'll let you. I'll give you a little bit about. Hey, maybe this thing morphed into those things along the way. I don't care. You know, Obama. He's an intelligent person, obviously well educated. But to be able to foresee that at that time in his stage, you know, in this country, I don't think so. Because you can always, you know, find the one outlier. You know, I think Obama looked at the presidency. It was a vocation. He really wanted to do good. I do believe there's a few people like that. But he had Axelrod behind him, who was an evil person. And he's the one that was orchestrating a lot of the knives.
Well, he had the other guy who the terrorist, the Weather Underground, with married to that dog, Bernadine Dorn.
Yeah. But then we also, just think about it, though, please. Jayapal. You've already mentioned Ilhan Omar. We can go Schumer. We can go Jeffries. None of these people have two brain cells to rub together to come up with anything decent. I mean, most of those people, when I hear them speak, I'm embarrassed. They can't formulate an argument, and if they do, they're just doing it for clicks and money.
I'm distracted by their looks. I'm vain.
Yeah, I don't have any overblown ideas that our representatives, our senators, and the congressmen are anything better than an average person on the street. They just have the power of the purse, and you know what? Maybe I'm the idiot because they're the D- student that thought, hey, the only place I'm going to really get rich is in Congress, so I'm going to run.
Yeah, you want to talk about rich? None of them ever worked a day in their life. They're all multimillionaires. None of them pay taxes. And none of them get investigated because they're all on the oversight committee. That Ro Khanna thing is just priceless to me. But here's another stat that I find amazing. When you look at the reality of what is happening, I have a very good friend of mine, wicked smart guy, New York State, not Manhattan. Smart in real estate, built his own life, his portfolio. He was telling me about this co-founder of Google. You hear about this kid? This kid's he you know, if you look at him, his name is Sergey. And Sergey Brin.
Yeah.
Sergey Brin, and his parents brought him here. He was 6 from the Soviet Union. He had owned 5,900 units in Manhattan. He sold them for 6 cents on the dollar.
Yep.
I mean, unprecedented when you really think about what that is. That's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, for as much wealth as he has, it really wasn't. I mean, that's like you dropping a $20 bill on the way to the cigar store. No. But he
But
made
he's
a
not
point.
stupid.
No, he's not. No, he's not an idiot. But he's making a point by doing that because we're going to have. I mean, maybe it's the Mason-Dixon line all over again, but we're going to have two countries.
Oh, we already do.
Yeah, right. And then we've got all those blue cities and states that are going to be sanctuary cities that still are sanctuary cities and states. And by the way, I don't know if you saw that hearing with the woman's whose daughter was killed.
I can't play. I got it on the board. It's on the board right now. It's so upsetting. My God, poor thing. I don't want to take advantage of her tragedy.
The way that the Democrats just kind of brushed it off is absolutely embarrassing. And these people have no shame. And I'm sick and tired of it all. I mean, I'm wondering about my country every morning when I got out of bed. We have to have whether males can compete in women's sports go all the way to the Supreme Court. Are you kidding me? What kind of a kangaroo country is that?
Yeah.
How does that even happen? I mean,
you've been away from me for too long. You've been away from me. I could hear it in your voice. Here's how you get a Democrat to talk about what a woman is. Call Michelle Obama a man. All of a sudden they know. You know what I mean? Come on. You tried to confuse me with Bigfoot over here. I swear to God, I was looking for the Pat Riley. I thought that was Patrick Ewing in a miniskirt. But that's just me.
But I mean, it's running rampant everywhere. They're stealing. I had some friends in Europe telling me about this.
I love how shocked you are. They're stealing. It's like going to a social club in Cicero. They're cheating. Yeah. Oh, come on.
But they were telling me back, 5 years ago, before we even had Doge here and Elon Musk, that these guys were going around some of these European parliaments and getting elected on the back of the fact that they were going to come in and stop the waste, fraud, and abuse. And they all told me it didn't work. They got elected. And nobody wanted to sign up for getting rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse in their constituency. it fell flat, and they're like, it's not going to work. Believe me. I'm like, no. We've got, you know what? This Doge falling by the wayside. I don't hear much more about people trying to, stop the waste, fraud, and abuse like we really were going for it earlier on. We've become another stat just like Europe. Nobody really wants to tackle the problem because everybody's fingers are in the cookie jar.
Well, yeah, cut me in or cut it out. But there is something that's changed with this Todd Blanche, who I have to say, I don't know if you're what he is. I mean, they are arresting people, brother. I mean, in the last 3 weeks, it's like 1,000 or 1,400 people have been arrested. So they are moving forward with the arrests far greater than they were. But you have to understand, you're combating the insulated fraudsters of the Democrat states like Minnesota or Illinois or California. You've not only got to charge them, find them and charge them, you've got to combat the corruption in the silver shovel judges. And that's every Democrat judge. So I do believe it's an uphill battle, which is why, to me, the smart play is to attack the entitlement itself. And I've come to the conclusion that we, the decent people, have to go full aggressive, get your back off the rope, and start to go after Social Security specifically. It's the easiest one to beat because it doesn't exist. You lied the whole time. Everybody who sells that should be indicted and convicted of a financial fraud on the American people. And I don't want it. I don't want it. Give me my money back. The deal's off. You owe me nothing. I'm right here. I'm going to collect it supposedly soon. I don't want it. I don't want a dollar. Forget about it. Deal's off. Give me the money. Gone. I want to see what they have to do when they cut me and you a check. What do we pay into that penalty for living and succeeding?
You're going to get 30 cents on the dollar if that.
Well, let's just start the negotiations. First, show me the dollar amount. I'll never forget when we were young. You remember they called it a self-employment tax so they could get you, right? Well, yeah. I mean, if you were a moron, you were writing a check for $20,000 a year. If you were barely going to work like me in the morning, I was out looking for cigar deals in the middle of the day. Remember Buddha making fun of me? I was gone for 4 hours a day walking around. So what does that add up to in a lifetime? And the get is most people don't talk about it. 28 to 33% of us never collect because we die. Where's all that frickin' money? It's time to break it, Scott. Stop buying the scam.
Yeah, but you think that there's something there. There's nothing there. I mean, it's all empty anyway. There's a bunch of IOUs, and structurally, we default in 2032. In 2032, everybody's going to take a 28% haircut on their Social Security. So if you're going to get $1,000 a month, you're only going to get $720 a month. That's it. That's what's going to happen.
Compartmentalize the shavings, and this way nobody will squawk too loud.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the biggest thing we talk about for the 2032 election. I guarantee you that.
Oh, that's bad news for the cartel guys, because if I need money when I get old, I'm robbing those morons. I'm coming for you. That's the greatest retirement plan I ever heard of. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters?
No, it's like my wife. They don't call 911. They call family.
Exactly.
All right? That's what they do.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, I got to. Are you not optimistic at all about at least what I don't think we've touched upon what we're saving through the elimination of this greenhouse gas, green energy boondoggle? I mean, he's ended it in a hurry. All that money to all that nonsense is stopping. I'm sure you saw, not Lucid, that other phony EV company. They're gone, out of business, closing, firing people left, right, and center. There's no more money sloshing around. I think we're saving trillions.
We are, but we still have a problem of $2 trillion a year with our annual budget. And so if we don't do a dang thing, we're going to be $41 trillion in debt come this time next year, maybe a little bit more, maybe $42 trillion. So we have to do something. I know we're trying and that we've got the best guy to try to do the job, but we really need to do some drastic things. We can't not just stop waste, fraud, and abuse. We have to cut spending, and we can't cut spending by freezing budgets. We actually have to have budgets get cut. Not like keeping them the same, which is a structural, discount.
Yeah.
So I think they need to stop spending. That's a big problem, as well as look for the waste, fraud, and abuse, because this is going to be a problem with our bonds at some point in time. Nobody's going to want to buy them. We're going to be having to borrow at higher and higher interest rates, and that's going to spiral out of control.
Did you buy the puts in the crude? Did you see it at $68.03? Did you see it?
No, I didn't, but I did say it was going to happen that way because at first everybody was talking, and I was kind of in that camp about it's going to take a while. We're going to stair step these prices lower, 95, 90, 85. And then I went back on air about a week later, which was about 3 weeks ago. I said, no way. You have to put your mind you put yourself in the mind of a trader. If we see the Straits of Hormuz opened, who in their right mind is going to be $85 bid for oil, or 80, or even 75, or even 70? This is going to come off fast, and that's it. And 68 is where we were when we started this whole thing.
It's right.
So, I mean,
how about the guy? How about the guy that sold the calls and then bought the puts with the premium? I love that sexy bastard right there. That's the play. What did it cost you? Nothing.
I have a friend of mine that trades that very, very well, and I used to be his broker. And this has got to be about 10 years ago. I was his broker in Chicago, and I was coming on. It was when we had oil up about $150 a barrel, and it broke hard, all the way down to like the high 90s. And I was buying puts for him all the way. And I got to a point where people would stop making me a price because they thought I was working for OPEC.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Oh, my God.
The guy makes a lot of money, and there was nothing that made him happier than hearing that story.
Oh.
He loves stuff like that. The dollars didn't turn him on. Stories like that, he's doing backflips.
I remember where you guys would be talking about the trade. Yeah, I sold the calls. I bought the puts and the thing. Really? How much did you make? I almost made enough for my second wife. Oh, I didn't know you were divorced. I'm not. It's my favorite. How much money did you make today, honey? Enough. Pack your bags. We're done. I'm going to marry your cousin. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you making time for me. I really do. Thank you very much. I love you. What'd you do today, and what do you got going on tomorrow on RFD TV? Scott the Call Guy Close.
I actually took the week off. We got people coming up from Chicago, so I was hanging with the missus. Yeah. I took these 4 days off. I'm never gone hardly, but yeah.
Oh, boy.
I thought I'd take advantage of it. So
now, are you going to just walk around in the Speedo and just, the whole week, just you and the old lady? This could...
No, I hold the Speedo and I hold the hose out there and just pretend I'm watering.
It's going to cost you a fortune in Viagra. Yeah. I hope you guys have a great time. Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
There's a moment in everyone's life when you just get tired of feeling lousy. That moment when you decide enough is enough. Maybe tying your shoes has become an Olympic sport. Maybe you had a scare at your last checkup. Maybe you're just tired of sitting this one out. Whatever the reason, when you start your journey, you don't have to do it alone. When I finally made my decision to get healthy and lose weight 4 years ago and 53 pounds ago, I knew I couldn't stay the course without support. I called PhD Weight Loss. Best decision I ever made. I've learned so much about myself, nutrition, how to balance it all, and maintain a healthy life. No more sitting on the sidelines for me. Right now, when you call PhD Weight Loss and mention Mike, you'll get 2 free weeks added to the program, and they'll pay for the cost of your food. That's a $1,500 value. Make the call that can change your life the way it changed mine. PhD Weight Loss. Call 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900. Or go to myphdweightloss.com. I'm Mike Gallagher. If I can do it, you can too. PhD Weight Loss.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a 5th-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hey, it's Scott Tucker and my new co-host,
Amy Jacobson,
on AM 560. We wanted you to know that we have a special show every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. here on AM 560, The Answer. It is Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker and
Amy Jacobson.
It's every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. 2-hour show, 2-hour radio extravaganza. Amy, we're going to tantalize the listening public and the listening private with all kinds of retirement planning information. So tune in at AM 560 Sunday mornings at 7 a.m.
When we get back, Ralph and Rantoul, you'll be first. 312-642-5600 if you want to participate in the fastest show on radio. Wouldn't you say so, Squirrel? Me too. Now, listen, Pritzker and these local scumbag scoundrels like Grady Preckwinkle in Cook County, DuPage is not far behind, if behind it all. The lies, the cheating, and the stealing leads to desperate citizens. What happens when all of that really kicks in is that crime goes through the fracking roof. You live in an area where the government protects the predator, protects the criminal. Think about this. They said it's legal to steal $500 a month or $500 a day, $900 a day. What's the difference? The government, the prosecutor said, steal $500, we're okay with it. Are you out of your fracking mind? Everybody but you and your family and your friends are potential thieves. They're a suggestion away. What's the penalty? You need a security system that scares the hell out of them, alerts you, and calls the authorities, especially if you live in a neighborhood where the cops are normal and they could beat the dung out of them. If that appeals to you, Goldilocks, not too big, not too small, just right. GoldilocksInc.com or call 708-889-5600. Mention you heard about it on this show, 3 months free monitoring. Now, what a company, family-owned, great guys. The father was going to be a locksmith. The kids took it and built it a security system, a security company. Doors. If you have a warehouse, they have doors. They've got security systems. They can give ingress, egress to everybody who works for you and shut them off just like that. The minute you find out you got a thief or a scumbag or a low-life Democrat, fire them. They'll shut it off at GoldilocksInc.com. That's just for warehouses. Retail, monitor every inch, every aspect. Residential, cameras on your entire property. Take an old bungalow, an old home, and turn it into a smart home at GoldilocksInc.com. You will never again have to ask, are my doors locked? Are my windows closed? On your house, on your condo, on your retail store or warehouse, GoldilocksInc.com. When we get back, 312-642-5600. You can follow Ralph after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. Clear, very warm, and humid overnight. A low of 78. One man was killed, another wounded in a shooting near a hotel in River North. Chicago police tell us it happened Wednesday morning around 3:20 a.m. in the 500 block of North State. 30-year-old man was shot multiple times and later transported to Northwestern Memorial and pronounced dead. President Trump speaking to reporters before boarding Air Force One, where he discussed ongoing peace talks with Iran.
I think they've come a long way. We hit them very hard last week. I think they're fine. I think we're going to. It's the denuclearization of Iran. It's very simple. And Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Tehran continues to claim it has control over the critical Strait of Hormuz. Starting Wednesday, the minimum wage for many workers will increase in Chicago and Cook County.
If you believe you're not being paid the appropriate minimum wage under Cook County's ordinance, file a complaint with the commission.
The news is a service of Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com. Your next news update is at 7. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Up next, a check of the roads with Jill Urchak.
It's a 16-minute trip going out on the Edens. The Kennedy out to O'Hare from the Jane Byrne interchange. 45 minutes slowing in the Express, Ohio to the Edens. Eisenhower 45 to 390 from downtown, and the Stevenson 40 out to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive. It is improving up on Rhine 20 minutes now. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, unfortunately, still heavy either way. Same for the Tri-State. Jane Addams East is clear, westbound snug, as well as southbound 355. But the Reagan is moving along okay, both east and west. Expect heavy conditions eastbound I-80, Kedzie to the Tri-State. This report is a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mainly clear with very warm and humid conditions with a low of 77. Tomorrow, expect hazy sunshine with hot and humid weather, along with a chance of a thunderstorm in a few areas during the afternoon. The high will reach 94 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
The following contains a celebrity impersonation.
Mr. President, we're seeing reporting that air conditioning systems are failing as temperatures rise. What is your response?
I said, don't wait. People wait until the last second, then suddenly it's hot and nothing works. I understand this stuff, probably better than anybody.
Mr. President, why hasn't the White House issued any guidance?
I gave perfect guidance. Call Air Right Heating and Cooling. That's the guidance. If people followed it, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Sir, but homeowners have so many HVAC options.
They're not like Air Right. You got some bad installers out there, some real bad hombres. I wouldn't let them near the White House. It would be a complete disaster.
Mr. President, there are reports of significant rebates on new systems. Can you confirm?
I've heard about them. A lot of people talking about them. If you miss out, you'd have to be really not so smart. Tremendous savings, let me tell you.
Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling at AIR-RITE.com. Air Right, doing it right since 1959.
Rashaw talks about building income in retirement.
You know, you can actually structure it in a way that have that $4,000 a month coming in the door every single month. So you don't have to look at the stock ticker and say, oh, the stock market's up today, stock market's down. You still got that $4,000 a month, and having that opportunity to take the vacations and do all the fun things in retirement that you always dreamed to do.
Unleash your wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again, not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling a collection or just the high-end antiques? Get top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's fascinating, huh, Squirrel? Capitalism and life have but one flaw, and it's the same flaw, Squirrel. You know what that is? You got to get off your ass and do something. People tell me, well, you're not telling me what to do. Tell you what to do. What are you? I'm telling you every day. Impeach John Roberts. Start a movement. Demand your person do it. Whoever the frack that is. Now, if you're in Illinois, I'm going to tell you today what I've been telling you for years. I don't know how many years. It's over. Flush it. They're taxing everything. People are leaving. Want me to do it? I did it. You think it was easy? Nothing is easy. Don't tell me. Get off your ass and do something. Or be a Democrat. And get on the nipple. And be proud, just like a Democrat, for nothing. Ralph and Rantoul.
Hey, good evening, Shaun. Hey, I love Scott Shellady. I like it when he comes on. He said something that made my head explode, though, and I think he was just being nice because he's generally a nice guy, when he said that he believed that Obama was really just trying to do the right thing. And I thought, no. He said that he was going to fundamentally transform America, and he had people like, Piston Rod and Eric Holder and all those other crooks working for him.
You and I know that. Right? Because what are we? I met Scott after Obama. I did. After Obama had been in, after the collapse. I knew of him before, but when I really started to talk with him was like right during the collapse. And I'm going to tell you about Scott, and most people do not know. He's self-deprecating, but he is a wicked smart man. I mean, I'm talking.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So now here's the other thing. Grows up a farmer. He's a stone athlete. He's a football lineman, and he broke a knee and then destroyed the other one, right? So he goes and becomes.
I think Scott plays like both left guard and left tackle because he's kind of big.
Oh, big. I'll tell you what, I love that son of a gun. He'll turn a love seat into his stool, though, in a hurry. However, one thing about him is always about the economy and, goes to Europe about the economy, always the economy, and understands beyond the shadow of a doubt politics is in it. But if you were in Europe back and forth when Obama was running, he didn't tell you what he was. You and I knew because we were suspicious and we understood what he was from Chicago. But if you're in Europe and you're hearing him, you remember how he ran. He ran the way you and I would run. He ran like Ronald Reagan. He ran like Donald Trump. I'm going to get rid of illegal aliens. That was his big thing. I'm going to go through the budget line by line by line, remember? And I'm going to do something about the cost.
And where he really screwed the pooch, though, was 2010 with Obamacare. It was a big lie, and any politician, including Trump, if he came out and he said, I'm going to nationalize 1/6 of the economy, I would turn on Trump like the guy who should have been driving the Titanic.
So you and I both know high crimes and misdemeanors isn't what it sounds like because we think of it with our 20th century or 21st century brain. High crimes and misdemeanors means that you do exactly what Barack Obama did. You double-cross the people who supported you. You double-cross the campaign speeches you gave. You betray the trust of the people, right? So if you really look at it, 90% of these politicians are guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors in the classic sense of the word. But to Scott's defense about what he said, he only was listening to it from Europe, right? So he's listening to it.
He was in London.
And he says he had the best intentions. Yeah.
Like you invoked the name of Jonathan Gruber, who, after the scam was complete, he came out and basically said, you bunch of morons. Of course we lied to you. What are you, stupid?
Right. And by the way, if I never correct you because you are by far the smartest and the best dressed caller I've ever had. Obama screwed the pooch on his honeymoon. Okay? See what I did there? Thank you.
Ouch.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Yeah, missing link. See you later.
Give your mother a kiss. I mean it. Thank you. Could you imagine his mom's still alive? Is that the most beautiful story in the world? Boy, what I would do for that. Bill Hinsdale.
That's a great line. Hey, I love listening to that traitor. He lost me when he said about Obama.
Don't let him lose you.
If Jack Ryan didn't have a sex fetish, Barack Obama would never been president of the United States.
I'll tell you this.
Anyway,
if Cook County didn't have crooked divorce attorneys, crooked judges, nobody would have known about him and Jerry going to the sex clubs.
Right. Shaun, real quick, if this cat-loving, beret-wearing Curtis Lee would have dropped out, do you think any of this radical commie movement would have ever taken shape with this Mondami? Because it's not going to last. And then they won't.
You needed this.
It will phase out.
You needed this. Because I'm going to tell you why. Dumbbell in the nipples, Cuomo that you're talking about, he has dumbbells in his nipples. He was a commie like his father. He was a socialist. He was selling that bulldog anyway at a slower speed. What this kid did, what he revealed, is fantastic in the eyes of if you really want to show the divide. Do you think that guy from Google would have sold his property at 6 cents in the dollar? Or that BlackRock would have walked away from what? 20,000 units? You know, BlackRock just walked away from 20,000 units in New York. They're selling that stuff. Bill, think about 6 cents on the dollar for real estate. Has that ever happened? That's way worse than 08.
I got a brother-in-law that works for Blackstone. He told me this plan 11 years ago. I said, well, that's going to totally screw our kids. They're not going to be able to buy houses because your greed company is sucking up all these units and
no, but really?
Great for Trump to say.
Well, they just took an ass kicking.
Oh, I know they did.
So, I mean,
I know they
that's
did.
the beauty of capitalism, right? Well, no, that's the beauty of capitalism because now the prices are down in these dungholes and they're up in other areas. But what it is exposing the flaw of the philosophy itself as it eats itself. They're raising taxes on everything. Here, think about this, Bill. They've got these idiot kids who are Democrats thinking that health care is a right, but water isn't, as they jack up water taxes 40% in 6 years. Come on. It's awesome.
Yeah, well,
I can't tell a kid. I cannot tell a kid they're getting robbed and they're eroding the middle class more than showing them New York or Illinois. There you go.
Would Cuomo want if this Sliwa dropped out? That's the premise of my call.
I don't know if they attract exactly the same person because they're two different people. Swalwell was the only one who was not a Democrat. Whereas
no, not Swalwell. Sliwa,
whatever. You know what I mean. Sliwa, the guy with the beret. He's the only one who was not a Democrat. Cuomo's a Democrat. Eric Adams is a Democrat. Mondamny ran as a Democrat. So why, if the Republican drops out, is it good for the Democrat? And why, if he gets in, he's going to be, what, Mondamny at less speed?
The 13% he got would it have put Cuomo over the top.
I think the reverse could be said, except Slawwell has one problem, and he lives with 40 cats, which is weird to me. But I think the better answer is if Cuomo and Eric Adams, who was embroiled in a tremendous scandal, which, by the way, his upper echelon are all indicted by the Trump administration, if those two idiots drop out, does Slawwell beat the kid? And I say, yes, he does.
Yeah.
Right? But I love these arguments, right?
We'll never know, yeah.
And if I would have caught the Queen of Spades, I'd have had the royal flush, and none of us would be talking like this. I'd be married to Susan Anton. I know it was her. At the Caesars Palace. All I had to do was win that hand. I was going to walk over to her. Bill, would have been like a love story. I'd be lost right now in a California king-size bed without a care in the world. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, business owners, is your business and money in good hands? Does your bank invest in your success? Hi, Mike Gallagher here, letting you know that when you need a relationship bank, Signature Bank makes commercial banking personal. I love these guys. Not only do they have expansive industry experience, a strong financial track record, but they're also highly capitalized for strategic growth. That's so important. That's why Signature Bank is my bank. They know what it means to grow a business by designing solutions that are right for you and only you. These are real people. They're ready to help. So reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Make the call today, 773-467-5630, 773-467-5630, or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. That's signaturebank.bank. Your business could be Signature Bank's next success story. Go online, signaturebank.bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Signature Bank.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
March 4th, 1865. The Civil War was nearing its end. The nation was exhausted, divided, and grieving. On that day, President Abraham Lincoln delivered his second inaugural address, just 700 words spoken in about 7 minutes. 41 days later, Lincoln would be assassinated. Yet the words he spoke that day still echo through history. In that brief address, Lincoln referenced God 14 times, spoke of prayer, and quoted scripture repeatedly. He reminded Americans that both sides of the conflict shared a common faith, saying both read the same Bible and pray to the same God, and each invokes his aid against the other. Lincoln understood that political division alone could not explain the nation's crisis. More than 160 years later, America still wrestles with division, truth, and our dependence on God. The question is whether we'll remember the wisdom Lincoln left behind.
John was an active man.
He'd go for runs, walk the golf course, and always take the stairs instead of the elevator. But then bone-on-bone knee pain got in the way and affected his mobility. It became too painful to even go for walks. And when it seemed like John's only option was knee replacement surgery, a friend told him about the Joint Relief Institute and their affordable, non-surgical knee pain relief. John met with the Joint Relief Institute and discovered their lubricating gel treatment could rejuvenate his lost cartilage. Safe, effective, no surgery. Long story short, John is now back to being active without pain or medication.
There is an alternative to knee replacement surgery. Stop living in pain. Call the Joint Relief Institute today, 708-315-6800, or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. That's 708-315-6800. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted. Reclaim your mobility with the Joint Relief Institute.
AM 560, The Answer.
Squirrel, I've been punched in the face to this song, I don't know, like 6 times, man. Now, there is a certain spark people have, and you could just see it. You could just see it. They glow from the inside. They're beautiful from the inside. This Sheridan Gorman and her mother have it, and so does the sister. And it's something to see. And I didn't want to play it early in the show because it's not about taking calls. But people say, boy, you're hard on Democrats in Chicago. This is what happens in Democrat dungholes where the government protects the criminal. This is what it looks like right here.
On March 19th, Sheridan went with friends to the lakefront in Chicago because they hoped they might see the northern lights. She never saw those lights. The man accused of murdering my daughter is Jose Medina, an illegal immigrant from Venezuela who should not have even been in this country. And even after committing a crime and having an outstanding warrant, he was left on the streets of Chicago to murder my innocent American child.
Protected by the government, released by the government. The government is the unindicted co-conspirator to the death of her daughter.
But this story, it's not about him. This story is about my Sheridan. It's about how failed border policies, sanctuary city laws, and twisted leaders refused to cooperate with ICE. They sent her to her grave. It's about a government and politicians that forgot their first priority. And the question before this committee is painfully simple. When did protecting our American citizens stop being your first priority? And even more important, why did
the aggravating part for me is it's not like this everywhere. It is only like this where Democrats rule. That's it. The rest of the country, they put them away. We kill them in Florida. I think we killed 35 of these filthy pig murderers. In Illinois, they get educated. They get sandwiches. They get fracking cable. What I love about this lady, she wasn't going to be talked down to by Congresswoman Cockeye, who kept interrupting her. Look at me when I talk to you, you bimbo.
Unfortunately, it's the 4th time in this committee that we've had a hearing on sanctuary cities. There's many other things that we could be doing other than this. I get so upset with your butts, and you don't want to talk about this. This is the 4th hearing. Do you know what I'm thankful for? And this is so messed up. I'm going to say I'm thankful. After hearing, I didn't even know what an angel family was. Had no idea. Never even heard about it. There's so many out here. You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that my daughter was just shot in the back of the head, not raped, murdered, dismembered, put in a garbage can like Megan Boss with bleach poured on her, and they didn't.
Democrat areas make all those horrendous crimes possible because in Democrat areas, the government protects the predator. We'll be back in 21 to drag each and every one of these cockroaches out from under the rocks.
If you've saved $100,000 or more for retirement, call Steve Shyman today at 833